All right. Now, hypothetically speaking, we should be up and running right now, but we'll never know. We never know here. Like, I could be, could not be. We'll see. Gotta test it just for you guys, all right? Testing it for y'all. Dude, fuck. Okay, yeah, I am live. Yikes. Evil stuff happening. Evil stuff is literally occurring right now. Sup, gay space? Oh, what's up, faceless? Okay. Oh, lol. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Prepare for extreme stream delay. Never, never, never. We're chilling here. Okay, we like to keep it a vibe at here. All right, Kalu. We love it here. But you know what? We are chilling. We are chilling. So, so I'm gonna give a little bit of a recap. If you guys remember, right? Like, I will save like the Saber Spark Beckett made for probably like really soon, right? But I wanted to dive a little bit deep into Doodletones to try to finish the chapter because we got this really long call, right? Did Lio Convoy confront Doodletones? Yes, it's actually on their channel.
Hey, you're a queer.
Yikes. That person actually like had e-sex with Jar, by the way. I just want that to be known to the whole chat. Like that guy is literally having e-sex with Bill Blacks and Jar. But whatever, whatever. Anyways. Stream delay isn't real, totally. Yeah. Ace, I've been telling you, man, you gotta stop scheduling streams. But it's fun. Okay? It's fun. It's awesome. No, but like honestly though, right? It's I do it because like I think like I'll like take longer than I need to prep, and then I just realize I just pull up one video because I've already done all the prepping before setting it up. So it's like lovely. Anyways, little recap, right? Little recap. We got like that they defended George the Raccoon, like George Raccoon, right? That guy who like sexualized minors and put them like little Snow White dresses and had them in like magic acts because that's what he got off to. Doodletone's sweet for that, despite the guy actually like literally like admitting to it in their DMs. Then there was a whole Cloak and Dagger shit where V Omega was like a confirmed child predator, but like Vigil was like friends with them. And fucking hell, what was it? Like Doodletones knew this and actually even let Vigil off easy. But like as soon as like this was on like Lio's radar, for these other people knowing, they got like they got burned at the stake, right? That was a whole autistic schizo drama where there would be people like Keyblade, Zephy, Hatipi, Neko Shadows, like that got like deeper dives into. Then like even some of like the people that are supposedly like the quote unquote good side even had like interesting stuff about them, like Heaton, Ellie Mameli, June, like a lot of people, right? Even Doodletones. There are no heroes. There are no heroes in the Doodletones lore. Only survivors. Okay. It's kind of unfortunate. And then I find out that Keyblade and Zephy could actually be classed as child groomers, given the documents I've seen. So lovely, lovely stuff. We love to see it. I love randomly seeing these go live in my notifications. It's awesome. It's awesome, dude. Yeah, hope you like my message, dude. That's why I give a message of my own, dude. It's actually fucking evil though. We got lots of stuff to do, right? We got a whole video to power through. But you know what? It's not that I've been putting this off. I just been getting all like the fucking context of this. Hi, guys. Oh yeah, what's up, Yen? Ace, why did you say you wanted to crack Doodletones' 8-year-old LC Mika? Dude, I don't know. I don't know where you're getting that information, dude. The fuck? That's evil. I'd say Chuli is a hero. I mean, yeah, but they weren't really involved in Cloak and Dagger. Like, I'm talking about, like, Cloak and Dagger. There's, like, barely any heroes but survivors. Like, it's evil. My favorite white boy. What's up, Yo-Yo? But yeah. We got some interesting stuff occurring. I've kind of already known about this call way before Doodletones got ousted. If I'm gonna be real with you, like I already knew about like this happening in like SCC courthouse. But you know what? I wanted to like see all the context come out so I would make sense, right? I would have just like I guess I could have done off-camera research, but it's like, where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in doing off-camera research? Like when I could just like go through the context myself. And Cloak and Dagger was quite the adventure. Quite the autistic adventure. Aaron is a true hero of by being somewhat normal. Well, Yun, let's just say about that, Yun. I will offer you that Aaron Tempest was probably like one of the most bearable guys there, if we had to be real. Fuck me, man. Yes, I just want you to know, I'm timed out plenty of people in Vlad's stream chat for calling you gay space. Not because it was offensive or I was defending you, but because they need better jokes. Dude, see, that's standing on principle, Potato. That is standing on principle. All right. Yeah, there has to be new jokes. You know, one of my favorite jokes of someone making fun of me was calling me the safe space. That was that was really clever and fucking funny. Okay, because it's like, it's evil. It's actually evil. Yeah, where's the money in off-camera research? You see, it's not about the money, Kalu. Okay, it's about the integrity and credibility I hold to myself. Dude, fuck me. But yeah, that out of the way. Let's get into this, okay? I've been, one to unpack this 5-hour video. We've gotten a lot of context about Doodletones and their character. So, let's do this. Oh yeah, before I also forget, I'm gonna put this at 1.25 speed. But yeah, so we'll get it through just that much quicker. All right. And just for you people, I'll turn up the volume a bit. I don't know why I had it so low. But yeah, here we go, guys. Here we go.
No point in a regular introduction for this one. Eyes up on screen. Keep it there for a bit.
Grooming!
There we go. Let me at least give some general background here before we get into this. This is a compilation of calls involving Susie Doodletones. On May 18th, she was confronted by Chuli in SCC Courthouse, a server made to deal with issues in the SCC. Susie was taken to task for defending a groomer named George Raccoon in 2021, and allowing him to reintegrate and rebrand in her community under the name Horace Tomes. There's an entire story to how this was found out, because clearly it was missed in 2021 somehow. Chuli will tell you about that eventually. And while we will get to that call, there's one I think that needs to be played first.
Honestly, okay, a lot of people talk about how it's crazy that this was missed, but I'm gonna be so real, right? I'm really not that surprised that something like that would get missed, right? It's easy to go back in retrospective, right? And be like, how did we miss this, guys? This is just such a crazy thing. But honestly, right, it kind of makes perfect sense. I mean, if you're not really content creators, right, even if they're associated with each other or just kind of friends with each other, right, they're not autistically digging into each other or watching every single one of their videos unless they enjoy their content or whatever, right? But they're not really doing that. So it's I'm not surprised that this kind of just went under the radar, because it's I don't know, it's it's a random video, right? At the end of the day, right, it obviously it can be used as a point because of how crazy it is, but on the surface it just looks like a random video. And it's if you just ask what the video is about, usually you're just gonna go off of what the friend says and just kind of ignore it and move on. So I'm not really surprised, per se, that this kind of went, quote-unquote, under the radar. But it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. It's genuinely whatever, in my opinion, because it's it's just going to happen. No one autistic looked in this. I think a good example, right, is, I mean, even the Rosa call, right, the thing that gets brought up the most today, that didn't, get any attention till, 6 months later. Also, oh yeah, what's up, Blake Gunnels? Also, what's up, Castella Pudding? Yeah, what's up? Dude, what is up, everybody, dude? We are having a beautiful audience for this beautiful content. It's awesome. Nice Wi-Fi, pal? It doesn't matter, dude. It's fucking... what, you really want to see a high quality of just building, a fucking mecha, dude? Be real. Be real, Kalu. Fuck off. But you know what? Just for you, I'll try to make it a little bit more bearable.
First, Susie left her platform in 2024 at the request of the FCK victims. They requested that she take time away and get therapy. While this wasn't a permanent request, she, for the most part, did so. She only came back to the courthouse in late September of last year and stayed there to help certain situations. After she came back, Chuli was granted a call on the server to reconnect with the community that harmed her, the intention being to answer questions and quell any issues. Chuli chose to stay, and one day in a random hangout call, brought up the issue she took with Susie's 9-hour Neko Coda video. I'm playing this one first because it's an important piece to demonstrate how Susie responds when her statements are questioned.
Wait. Emergency. All right. An emergency has taken place. Okay. I don't care. Everyone. Also, what's up, Gela the Babosa? No. Everyone. Emergency. Okay. Emergency. This big news has happened. Okay. Big fucking news has happened. All right. Big crazy stuff has happened. Let me try to see if I can find their channel. Come on. Come on, dude. This was like a schizo we were kind of going off of like the last stream, bro. Come on. Where are you, Starky? Starky! Where are you? Fuck, man. Okay, here we go. Dude, their channel is just insane. Okay, like, yeah, okay. Emergency, okay? This person just posted Snarkfield Ending 7 hours ago. This is the person that's evil, okay? Evil. They defended aging up, okay? I want to look at their ending video real quick. Hold on. Actually, also, let me get out of call. We're locking in for this. It's only a minute. Okay? We are locking in. No interruptions for this minute. Snarkfield, bro. Look at this.
You are probably questioning what is happening. I have decided to no longer have Snarkfield as a main priority when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah?
I had thoughts of moving my content from personal opinions on topics from this side of the internet to more or less controversial subjects like games.
Yeah, buddy?
Does this mean I'll never talk about stuff from this side? No, it's just not gonna be the top of the list for me.
Dude,
I feel like this is the right
I want
move
my
for me.
shots.
So if you want game-related
I want my
content,
shots.
I made a new channel that will be my main
What
priority.
the fuck? This
if
is
that gets
evil.
more support within a year, I will abandon this channel. The videos will stay up as long as it can. I'm not gonna delete it. I know people
What
are
is
gonna
this, bro?
question, why, but in a deeper way. I'm tired after running on glass. There's been good and bad. I doubt I can keep up any longer. All I can do to say on this
The
metaphorical
fuck?
hospital bed my channel is on. Is see ya in another video.
What the fuck?
I keep feeling like I'm walking on glass.
Dude, another ace. Shut the fuck up. Dude, this guy unironically tried to blame someone who just privated all their content and trying to leave, that they would be responsible for grooming children. Like, you know, kids being groomed, right? Just because they took down their videos. Which is fucking insane. That is fucking insane. Okay? And they just did not budge. I tried to get them on stream last time, but I guess it was a little late for them. And this person always argues about aging up is not pedophilia or whatever, right? But then, I don't understand why you're going to argue that, but then just like a fictional character that is already 16 without aging them up anyways, that you have some interest in them. But then also, right, they consider lolicons pedophilic and pedophiles. So it's like, what does that make you, Snarkfield, by your own logic? By your own standards? If you think being attracted to minor characters makes you a pedophile, since that's what you argue, and then you also admit to having that, are you by your own standards one? Like, I don't know, it's just mind-fucking-blowing, dude. It's fucking... I don't know, this person's genuinely insane. They're very, very interesting, but that's it, bro? That's it? That's all you leave on? My goats! Rest in pepperoni. Another SCC member has fallen. I just found out about your awful takes and now you're moving away from them, or just stop defending them. Oh god, oh, they're in the thread.
Moving away from some takes because I ain't the person that's going to change most people's opinions. I will not be publicly defending it, at least. That's kind of what I'm planning. Can't really call it an echo chamber when people can disagree with me. I don't add random people on Discord, so yeah, I do use it all as my watching YouTube account.
Yeah? Well, you're just talking to yourself.
I probably will if it's brought up. I can only go as far as I think about it. Anything more, I probably haven't thought about. Genuine, because, as an example, let's say someone brings up why pre-operation trans people going to the bathroom is bad. What? I'm probably not going to know a majority of things, but what I do is something. All I'm saying is I'm not going to think about every related to a topic. All I know is all I know. Simply, it is what it is. Already bad faithing it, are we?
Dude, who? You're fighting with Ghost.
This is where we are. Chat ends.
I'm imagining they deleted or hid the person from their channel because they got them mad.
Okay, I'll try to clarify. If you make the character older due to liking their personality traits, I do not think it's pedophilic in my opinion. If you disagree with that, oh well. Dead. Personality traits, as an example, someone with a good, kind soul that cares about people. You missed the point. Also, technically, we are talking about a character that whoever uncanonically made an adult because they liked aspects of a character, not a Shazam moment.
Dude. What's Dude. Dad, this is actually evil, bro. Dude, they have fallen. They have fallen. It is over. Snarkfield. No. You will be missed, buddy. You will be missed. Dude. Maybe, I gotta stop being a little harsh on these people. They just tend to dip quite a lot. But fuck me, man. Fuck me. You know what? While we're already on the Snarkfield topic, because we're already, living it up in this derail, right? You know what, guys? I discovered, something because I said something to a friend, right? I sent something over to a friend, a good friend of mine, right? And I was kind of shocked. I'm not going to lie. I was flabbergasted, all right? Because I didn't know, right? This Snarkfield person actually had a little bit of history, right? A little bit of history with Lio Convoy, to be exact. Okay? I had no knowledge. No, none at all. But it was quite interesting. It was quite the interesting thing to come across. And you know what? Since we're already kind of talking about something to do with Lio anyways, it's not that far off topic. But you know what? Dude, it's actually so fucking over. But you know what? We get to... I want to show you guys something. Because this guy had an issue with the Senate. And definitely an issue with some mental problems, bro. Okay? Genuinely. Fuck me, man. Hold on. Let me scroll through. So, there's this archive video that exists of Snarkfield. Where they're just genuinely fucking furious. Okay? They hate the fucking Senate, dude. They fucking hate it. And I get it. Senate is gay, right? What I gather from this, with the context I have, there is a situation with Call Me Nil where I am led to believe that they did commit suicide, which is a very tragic thing that I'm not going to make light of. But Snarkfield apparently takes it upon themselves to take that situation and blame it on the Senate for this person's suicide, despite this actual person having a lot of mental struggles and demons that they were fighting. There was lots of things that were fucked up that was going on in this person's life. To blame Lio Convoy in the Senate is fucking ridiculous. So they found that video in the Senate and they started making fun of them, right? They started, they do scream. But you see, they started making fun, they started making fun of Snarkfield over here, because it's they said that they were milking a person's suicide to grow. Which that makes Snarkfield crash out, and I feel like, you know what, I will, I will show you guys some beautiful stuff. But yeah,
Pictures of suicide will be in this video, including my own experiences. So, yeah, don't watch this video if you're sensitive to that type of stuff. Anyways, getting back to what this video is about.
yeah.
I predicted they would do this. I just predicted this shit. Because of course they're going to use nil suicide against me, because I mentioned it when exposing their fucking shitty ass behavior. These fucking idiots promote. Fuck!
Dude.
Jesus Christ. Fuck these people. On God!
Fuck these people. On God, bro. Fuck, man.
Fuck. It pisses me off with people like these. Oh yeah, you're doing this because you want to be popular. You want to get the views from this. You want to get blah 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 from this. Fuck these people.
Ace, with all due respect, what is this? What the fuck is this? You see, we are looking over Snarkfield because they are leaving, bro. They're leaving the community, and while I'm on the derail, I wanted to show this.
Honestly, go to hell with these people. Oh, OMG, you expose our shitty behavior using nil suicide. But now we're going to say you're using nil suicide to promote yourself in some shit. Fuck these people. On God.
On God.
Seriously. Even in my comment section.
Oh, this I think this is the most extreme crash up.
Do you look at suicidal people and try to make it about yourself? Disgusting. Delete this. Fuck you! I was disgusting how horrid you fucking people are! You people actually fucking disgust me!
Dude.
Jesus Christ!
Dude!
If it wasn't for people like you, I probably wouldn't make the video. But here we are, making this video. Fuck you. On God. Screw yourself. Piece of shit. I'm fucking suicidal myself. You don't think I would comment on how you people were using suicidal people in your sick, twisted fucking game?
Dude, this is rough, bro.
That is not the game to you. OMG, OMG. Better use a suicidal person for my own fucking game. Well, that's what you people are doing.
You see, even though I'm laughing at the crash out right here, why the fuck would you post this publicly, bro? You see, that's what I don't understand with some of these people. Some people will make a video, say everything, like get the gameplay or whatever, the background, right? Put their voice over it. So that means he screamed, right? Put the footage there, did all the editing, made the thumbnail at the time, and then went through with uploading it, and throughout that whole time thought it was a genius idea to then realize, fuck, I should take this down. I look like a fucking schizophrenic. Instead of those several hours that he was going through this. And I'm like, bro, dog, what the fuck? This was so months ago. Yeah, it's funny though, Gilded. It's funny, okay? Fuck you. Fuck you. And it's also relevant, but fuck you.
To this fucking day. Jesus Christ. I'm actually fucking pissed about this.
Yeah?
I'm actually fucking pissed.
Yeah,
oh
buddy?
My God.
You're pissed?
These fucking people. Don't join Senate if you're suicidal, or have mental problems, or have emotional problems, or any problems at all, or even if you're a normal person. Don't join these fucking assholes that will say, OMG, this person is promoting themselves about this. And make assumptions that I'm doing it for clout or some shit. Fuck these people. Oh God, they should go to hell when they die.
This like lisp
They
is awesome.
should. And it fucking disgusts me that people are like this. It's fucking disgusting. it actually fucking disgusts me. These fucking lunatics.
I think it disgusts him.
Suicide as some sort of chips in their fucking disgusting poker game. Fuck these people. Don't join Senate, because these people will use suicide as a get-out-of-jail-free card. Fuck
Ooh,
these
that
people.
was tough. That was tough.
And not even their own suicide. They will use people that they probably don't
He's
know
so out of breath.
as a get-out-of-jail-free card, just so they can get one up on their enemies. This is fucking disgusting. Fuck these people.
Bro. Dude, I just don't know how Snarkfield could, like, genuinely go through that whole process and upload that and just be perfectly fine with it, dude. That's mind-blowing, okay? That is fucking mind-blowing. Want to know something ironic? This guy orbited me. Me! Yeah, dude, this is... Okay, that's actually a good point. What we just viewed, guys, was an average Gilded Poo fan. And that's just kind of like, what the average audience of Gilded Poo looks like. Fucking hell. Imagine orbiting someone who is often worse than who he's crying about. Yikes. I don't know. It's just fucking ironic. Dude, I don't even fucking know, dude. I'm not really heartbroken that the guy's dipping. I mean, I still can't get over the fact they try to call Graceful, like, they try to claim that Graceful would, like, be letting child grooming happening by just simply privating the videos and leaving. It's like, it's just fucking mind-numbing. But whatever. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. Average Gilded Poo fan, average versus average cat enjoyer. Yeah, dude, yeah. You know what? Maybe this is why Gilded didn't make a nobody lolcows video on Snarkfield. They were sweeping. You see, Gilded says I'm sweeping. No, Gilded's sweeping for Snarkfield, bro. There's so much material to talk about with Snarkfield, but you're sweeping! You're sweeping! You're sweeping, Gilded! You're fucking sweeping! Fight you IRL? Dude, you would just bring a shotgun. You're a cheater. Okay? Like, I'm not stupid. But anyways. Let's get back into the Doodleton, okay? Anyways. Without further ado, we'll be getting into some better emotional breakdowns today. someone of more relevance and someone of who is more deserving. Introducing Doodletones.
Question in a more direct manner. I want you to pay attention to how she reacts to things. Here you go.
Because nobody wants to look at the nuance in things.
Yeah.
Also, yes.
Can I ask you about a video that you have? Because I've actually been thinking on it more recently, and it's kind of leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
A space. I was not sweeping, but if someone accused me of being too nice to Snarkfield, they're correct. Yeah, you're they're like your little son. They were a part of your audience, they're your orbiter, and you didn't care. You didn't care. You defend them whenever you get, bro. I apologize for my sins, lol. Lol. W.
I said I've been thinking on a video that you have recently, and it's been leaving a bad taste in my mouth because I wanted to ask about the Nekokoda video.
Sure.
And I just am curious, how much of that video, because it's like 9.5 hours, how much of that is from when they were underage?
Probably quite a bit. I go over the entire history of Coda.
Okay, I don't think that that's necessary.
I mean, I don't really
think we need to
care.
document the child's life online for
Okay, you could say that. Okay, Chili, with all due respect, you could say that, but like realistically, that's just always gonna happen. You know how many content creators that are like have like really fucked up past are like fully documented online? I mean, take fucking like avoiding some obvious examples, right? Take Lumi's Star Bun, where literally 99% of their controversies happened because they were a kid, right? And it's like they falsely accused someone of being a rapist. They lied about having cancer. They lied about having an abortion. They faked their death, right? It's like people are going to call that out, okay? People are going to talk about that because it's like, especially when it gets to false allegations, when they're accusing someone of grooming or accusing someone of raping and it was like a lie, of course you're going to document that. The fuck? I don't know exactly the extreme of like Nekokoda of what they've done. To be honest, I don't even really know too much about Nekokoda myself. I just know that they're not like a great person per se, from what I'm gathering. But it's just gonna happen, dude. Like it's naturally just gonna happen. If you make a big fuck up online, it's gonna be documented. It's like, I don't know. It's just realistically, that's just gonna be what happens. Or Mushroom Girl, like literally, yeah, literally anything that has to do with Mushroom Girl is documented when they're technically a minor, right? It's like, dude, fucking it's over. It's over. But yeah. I hate Nekokoda. I thought they were your favorite. No, I'm kidding.
flowers.
I mean, I think when it comes to someone who has shown years and years of abusive behavior, I think it is a little.
To give Chuli the benefit of the doubt, the shit Coda did as a child was be groomed and why? Why is that? We're calling you out for being groomed. The fuck? Lol. And to be a Celian, someone who argues at length in a circular way. Yeah, it's just annoying, I guess. I saw this. I was being recorded live unlisted. Lio cut a few people out the call, and I am glad he did. There were so many, like, two soy tards that almost made Doodletones look good. The fuck? That's... I kind of wish I could see that. That's kind of funny. This is why we can't have soy people, right? There has to be a balance necessarily, but we can't have soy people doing confrontations. They'll focus on the wrong points. They'll focus on points that we should, you know, like, put to the side while we need to dig deeper into things. It's evil. No, actually, the issue with, like, having kind people or people that, like, want to give too much benefit of the doubt or good faith is they're too trusting in confrontations. That's a pattern I've seen, if I had to actually give a general criticism. Because in this community, right, there's a lot of people that confront people that's done something wrong, but since they know them and, like, have been friends with them for a little bit, they want to, like, genuinely, like, look for the best in them. So they'll sometimes just believe what, like, you know, let's take Doodletones, for example, what they would say at face value. And if they do that, that honestly just makes it look like Doodletones is not really getting any consequences for the actions that they've done, and we just move on. And it's like, that's dumb. Like, we're like the actions that they've done, like, you can't just you can't just move on from that. But yeah. How bad do you have to be to make it look new? Check Collins, very important. Why the fuck? What do you want, Yen? What do you want? What do you... Yen, Ace important?
I killed them all.
What the fuck is this?
They're dead. Every single one of them.
What is this, bro?
Just the minute.
Yen, what the fuck?
And the children, too.
Shut the fuck! Oh, dude.
Yeah, and fuck off. Not just the men, but the women too. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. That was fired. The fuck? Okay, one of them was literally hyperventilating over an entirely unrelated and irrelevant statement Doodles made like 2 to 3 years ago. Dude, see, that's the issue with some of these people. They'll get like hyper focused on the wrong things, bro. They'll get hyper focused on the wrong thing. I'm glad Lio made the strategical decision to only bring in people that'll talk about the more pressing shit. And like, I'm not saying Chuli's bad at confrontations, right? But I just like, I don't know. At that point, it's like meh. We're already starting off with meh. But you know what? We're probably gonna get into some gems. So here we go.
Important.
Use the stuff from when they were
Because
adult.
it's a pattern.
Yes, when they were a child.
did.
I don't want to document
Here's
their life as a child.
The thing is, Julie. It went like it is a pattern of behavior from the time that they were a child to the time that they were an adult. The point is the point.
Which would show that they have not grown or changed or anything, or not taking the steps. Okay, if that's the angle that Doodletone's going with, then I realistically don't care about this point at all. But I'm gonna be so real. This is an interesting. I don't know. This is kind of a weak point to start with, but whatever.
Kind of shows that this is something that Coda has always done. It's kind of something that it requires a lot of context, however, to explain that. So I do wind up having to make it an 9-hour video. It was a lot of context there.
I completely disagree. I think if someone is abusive as an adult, that's good enough. We don't need to drag their childhood into it when they were being abused and groomed and sexually assaulted.
And I kind of have to back up what Julie said, especially since I do have to point this out. That's what a lot of people against you, Doodle, were saying about you.
See, okay. That's a little bit more of a fair point to make. If Doodletones is completely fine with covering someone like Neko Koda, who was, doing a lot of bad shit because they were groomed themselves, but get really mad when you talk about their childhood and use being groomed as a defense, yeah, that's a point of hypocrisy. That's a bit stronger than just, we shouldn't document kids online if they do stupid shit. Right? That is a stronger point. That shows hypocrisy, and that shows double standards that Doodletones would have. That would be a solid point. So yeah.
What
And
do you
also-
mean?
Okay, you
Like
No.
they
What
were also using like things that were done to you in your childhood to make you into a bad person, into
Yes,
a
but it wasn't
manipulative
stuff that I still
person.
did. No,
stop
the
using
thing is,
things.
what people use against me specifically are the fucking stupid goddamn erotic role plays that I did when I was a kid, right? I don't do those anymore. I haven't done those in a decade almost at this point. So that's
Yes, but you still hate when people bring it up, okay? Because, like, even though it's something that you did, okay, yes, this would be a line of hypocrisy. Even if, like, I guess, I don't know, you don't do that from what we're aware of. But, like, still, even if, like, I could give you good faith and say that you changed it, you can't be bringing up other people's past and just, like, use it against them if you get mad if the people do the same for you. That is a sign of hypocrisy. But, yeah.
not stuff that I still do. There's not a pattern of behavior there. With Coda, it was consistently a pattern of behavior where she consistently showed very abusive patterns to other people.
Then use the ones from when they were an adult. It's unfair to get on a child for their behavior when they're underage, especially when they were being abused and groomed and sexually assaulted themselves. And I do just want to say that I did think it was really disgusting how at the end of the video, at the end of that 9.5-hour video, you were like, oh, you did worse than what we did. The worst we did was to compare you to your rapist. Like, that is, like, do you hear
The fuck?
yourself?
Lol? What?
I don't think that video needs to be, I don't think that video needs.
Yeah, Space, she just lied. She wasn't a kid. She was 19 LARPing as an 8-year-old, lol. Well, you see, Gilded, we could look at that as a lie. Or we could look at that as Doodletones genuinely believing they were 8 years old. Meaning that, were they really lying if they were 8 years old? Fuck me, man. What the fuck?
Needs to exist anymore. Because she's not around anymore.
I disagree.
And that video is documenting times from her childhood, and it's downplaying disgusting things that you guys said about the time when she was raped.
I could also add, as somebody that just came back, that Coda now is basically just working on, from what we've seen with from a DM to Lio, she's just working on like trying to be a therapist and stuff. Like, she's just getting education.
And that's fine, but I don't want her to to have gotten away with the years of abuse that she put other people through. Like, yeah, okay, she was a victim, she was a child, I get that. And yeah, when it comes to the comparison, yeah, it wasn't a particularly tasteful comparison. But
Stop
also,
downplaying it.
are we just not? I'm not fucking downplaying it. If you
There's this point that got used and turned into a soundbite. There we go, guys. There we go. I'm not playing it. Brother. Fuck me, man. Fuck me. But yeah, no, okay, that... You did compare them to the rapist, apparently, is what I'm getting. Why? Why would you compare someone to the rapist? Like, what were you saying? Like, the fuck? Were you saying, like, Neko Koda, like, seems like the type that would rape? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this comparison in question? That's so weird.
Listen, if you let me fucking finish, if you let me explain myself, I was going to say, are we even going to question, like, why the comparison was made?
Yes.
I gave her an apology directly to her on 2 different occasions.
Okay, but that's not an
I'm sitting here
explanation.
downplaying it, but I'm sitting here saying, are we not going to question why? Because the comparison isn't just to her abuser. The comparison is strictly based around how she was arguing against people being the same way that fucking V did.
Susie, do you wonder that maybe why she was acting like that is because she was subjected to that behavior?
And was groomed?
People can act like they're abusers. It is not fair to compare them to them, especially when that person sexually assaulted them while they were underage, and then...
This point makes me want to defend Doodletones. I actually don't care about this line of questioning, lol. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know if they're, like, starting with, like, points I feel like are a little bit weaker, because if you just found out that they defended a groomer, right? Like, personally, right, if I was in the hot seat, like, not hot seat, like, if I was, like, talking to someone in the hot seat, and I just found out that they defended a child groomer, that would be, like, the first thing I'd want to talk about. Because it's like, I don't know, that would be way too much of an elephant in the room to just not address that right away. Like, you know, it's like, it's a bit odd that we're going through the line of questioning with Neko Koda. It's like, okay, because at best, right, if Doodletones, okay, they did something fucked up here, right? If they apologize to Neko Koda twice already, or whatever, and it's like it's already been resolved and moved on, it's like, I don't know how much more, like, you know, you could get out of Doodletones at this point. Because if they apologize, then I guess they would recognize that it's wrong and that it's already been, like, resolved and moved on. It's like, I don't know how productive that this could be at this point, right? It's like, I guess if you're trying to get, like, what their mindset was, but even then, it's like, it doesn't really provide that much, and I'm still, like, way more curious about what they're going to say about George Raccoon rather than Neko Koda, to be honest with you. But, yeah. Doodle can't deny this argumentation, though. They literally use the fact they were groomed as a defense themselves. Yeah, like, it does show hypocrisy, right? Like, if that's what they're getting them out... I think this was before they found out about that. Okay, interesting. Then what triggered the first call, then? I thought that was what triggered these calls with the George Raccoon thing. Okay. Because I think there was, like, 2 calls. But that's interesting. Well, okay. Because Lio gave that to them in a video. Yikes. I don't know. It's, I guess we're just, like, only gonna, like, point out that they're a hypocrite so far, but, like, I think that point's kind of already been established. I don't know. I guess I'm wondering what, like, the next point would be.
And turn around and say, well, it wasn't the most tasteful thing. Susie, if you did that to me, I would never forgive you. I would let both of us die before I thought of ever moving on from that statement.
Yeah.
I really don't like...
I see why Chuli... Okay. Okay, I get why Chuli is pressing on this, because they experienced something themselves like that via Heaton. Okay, so that's probably why there's more of a pressing matter of emotionally driven, like, you know, argumentation here. But I don't know. It's out of all the things that we could talk about with Doodletones, that definitely would not be on my not on my, at least not at the top of my priority list. It just kind of like, at best, it just kind of like, you know, shows that they're a hypocrite, and at best it shows that they're a reckless idiot, and at worst it shows they're a hypocrite. Like, I don't know, there's not like much that you can get off of this. personally, in my opinion. But yeah, anyways.
Like the implications you guys are putting upon me. I really don't like the fact that you guys are even, like, even kind of implying that I did so out of malicious intent.
We're not. We're not saying that you did it.
Oh, no one did that. Lol. This was just a separate thing to that Lio is using to show how Doodletones rages and cries. Yeah, she will cry. Oh, okay. Instead of responding. Yeah, I mean, I guess that I guess that is a way to show. Julie said that they got fan art from George, and then they realized who he was because he was under a different name. That's when they found out Doodle had the video defending him. Interesting. Interesting stuff.
Did it out of malicious intent, where we are though saying that it is not good.
How am I saying that you have malicious intent? I'm not saying you did something because of X or Y reason.
You are framing it as if I was doing it in malicious intent.
How so?
No, I'm fully aware that you are definitely ignorant on the kind of statement that you are making, but I am telling you that I do not like how you, even in this call, continue to downplay it as just distasteful, when in reality, it is abjectly disgusting.
Fine, I'll go fucking private the video or take it.
A space DMs, it's relevant. I swear to God, if it's that jar confession to like Chuli thing, I might crash out a little bit. It's just Jar saying a special word. Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. I'll forward this to Emo Collins. I'm not really surprised if this is where they got the defense, to be honest with you. I mean, but, well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. We'll see. I haven't really seen this clip at all, but I'll show it for stream for full transparency. Let's get it up. Crash out? Yeah. I'm crashing out. Here we go. Why Doodles use the groomy defense.
In doing her research,
okay, come on, play.
to properly address this yet again.
Oh my God, it's raping me.
Old logs and found out she had been.
Holy fuck, dude. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Dude, fuck in hell, dude, stop being a child rapist.
Groomed. I was there. I saw how she responded to it.
I'm actually gonna crash out. I'm gonna fucking crash out, dude.
Time. It's an awful thing to discover.
Fuck me, man. Holy fuck.
But it explains some of her more troublesome thought processes and interests.
Okay, I get the point. Lio gave them the defense. Lio gave them the defense. Discord's being so fucking gay to me right now.
To properly address this yet again.
Holy shit.
Susie delved into her old logs and found out.
You know, I'm gonna try to like just download the video and send it to myself. I'll like watch a little bit more, but I'm getting the point. I get the point. But I'll fuck me, man. Fuck me.
Get down or what the fuck ever. Fine. I don't like what you guys are pushing upon me. You guys are pushing intent upon me, and I don't appreciate that.
Susie, I'm not trying to push intent on you. I'm just saying what you did and how it makes me uncomfortable, and how I don't think that you're recognizing the severity of some of the words that you said. That has nothing to do with why you said those words or what you thought you were doing when you said those words. It has to do with the actual impact of those actions happening. Because being completely honest, no intent would make comparing a victim to their rapist good. There is no intent that would make that justifiable. You could bring up that they learned a pattern of behavior from that abuser, but to try and condemn them for that is wholly irresponsible, no matter the intent.
Okay, hold on. This was after Akuma called her out for her European. This was the European defense. Okay, thanks, Guild. Yeah, real. Okay. Let me take a look at it because we're still on the point. Let's see if it runs better since I downloaded it and put it up anyways.
In doing her research to properly address this yet again, Susie delved into her old logs and found out she had been groomed. I was there. I saw how she responded to it.
You was there too.
It's an awful thing to discover, but it explains some of her more troublesome thought processes and interests for several years. Akumu's response to that level of honesty is to claim she's using her being groomed as a shield and that she's just trying to paint anyone that questions her as a victim blamer. If you sat through that whole video and came to that conclusion, you're just a dishonest moron.
Okay. Okay. I guess this is just another example of like Lio being a bit too good faith, I guess, is what I would break that down to. But yeah. Yeah. Yikes. I also called out Lio for this in DM, so this isn't shit talk. I mean, I figured as much, right? I mean, I figured that you would have talked to him about it. I mean, you've talked to him about a lot of other things. But yeah, I would just like chalk that up to like Lio was like way too good at faith with a friend again, which he sometimes has a little bit of a pattern of doing with some friends. So I'm not too surprised, but it is kind of like, yeah. But yeah, it is. It's like a warm cup of 8. Okay, buddy. Okay. All right, back into the actual call. I guess we're still harping on the hypocrisy thing.
I will private it. I will get rid of it from the public view.
A-Space, that's called sweeping, dude. Yeah, no, I know what it's called. Right, I know what it's called. I'm not saying Lio is based for it. I'm just saying I'm not surprised, okay? That around this time era, okay? I'm not really surprised. But, yeah. Yikes.
Thank you.
I just really don't like what you guys are implying.
I'm
We're not
trying
saying
to
you're being
imply
malicious.
anything on you.
You might be trying to imply it, but you have been. This whole time you have been implying things.
No,
about
I
it,
just
and I don't like that
I-
because I didn't do it intentionally to harm her.
I just clarified to you that that is not what I'm doing. I'm being very straightforward with you about what I am saying, what the meaning of what it is, what I care
I
about,
understand.
and what I'm
I
focusing
understand that.
on.
I understand that, and I hear that. I just up to that point.
Dude, how are we actually like not okay? Like this call, right, is like less time than the actual video runtime, right? So that this call has only been like 8 minutes in, and like Doodletones is already down, breaking into tears because they're being pressed on being, a hypocrite, right? They're, like Julie's not even saying that they think that they did it maliciously. They think that they did it like just recklessly, and it's like that's so dumb that like Doodletones is crying at this. You are a grown woman, bruh. Okay. You have been in this community for like a decade, dude. All right. This should be like something that you just be like, yeah, okay, I fucked up. This was my mindset. I understand it's fucked up. Okay, I get it. Whatever. I made mistakes. I haven't done it again since then, and move on, right? Because if you already made your apologies, right, there's realistically not much more you could do. You've already taken accountability for it. You could say like what your mindset was in the process, like in the moment of it, and then just say, yeah, I agree. I don't stand by it today or whatever. Like do whatever you got to do, right? And then just move on. It's crazy to me that you're breaking down into tears. Like this is the first point that's been brought up, and you're already like broken down to tears. That's fucking insane. Okay, that is unironically insane. It's not good for it's just Lio defending them / sweeping for them because they're friends at the moment. I mean, God. I mean, it is still good faith in the sense of like, okay, good faith in this case, like obviously like, Lio is like not, it's not like Lio, right? New Doodletones was lying and was like, I gotta do anything to protect them. That would be more like a sweeping. Like that would be more sweeping in that sense. Good faith would just be taking Doodletones at their like word, and I imagine that Doodletones explained to them like the actual stuff, considering that Lio even said that they saw the reaction and he took them at face value. Is it dumb that he didn't like do a deep dive research, like not deep dive research, but like look into it more himself, right? I think that, yeah, sure, you could say that that's dumb, okay? But sweeping would imply that he knew that the thing was bad, but is still trying to cover it up because they're friends. I can't out my buddy. I think genuinely he just took Doodletones at face value and just defended them off of that, which would be still like under the guise of like good faith. Is it still stupid? Yes, I think it's too good faith. I think you shouldn't like defend someone with only just taking their word at it. But it's like I mean, Lio's already been told this several times. It's like obviously Lio not up to it, whatever, right? Right. Yikes. Oh, sorry I'm harping on this, but I want to clarify that Lio wasn't watching Akuma's videos even partially. He was going off of clips of Akuma's videos that then his community sent to him. Honestly, that just like that really just only reinforces what I said. He didn't do any like actual proper research into it. He just took Doodletones at face value. Is that stupid? Yes. That is very stupid. It opens you up into situations like this, where you get like, oh fuck, I gave someone too much good faith. But did Lio know that Doodletones was like this manipulative fucker? No, I don't think that. Because if he did do that and then was still defending them, then yes, I would say that's 100% sweeping. I think he was just way too good faith for his own good, just because they were friends. There is a difference because it would be intentions and like why they're like saying the things that they're saying. But yeah, anyways, yeah. I mean, you know that if Doodletones wasn't Lio's friend, he would have had a Senate call dunking the fuck out of her or for her diaper fetishes years ago. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, friends have biases with friends. That's naturally gonna happen. I mean, fuck, you see it all the time, right? If a friend of someone makes a mistake, usually what their response is going to be to talk to them behind the scenes privately and have a conversation to explain why they think what they did was bad, rather than like a public, fucking call out, because like maybe they're acquaintances at best, if not just complete strangers. Yeah, it kind of happens like that. That is a very common thing in this community, to be honest. People that people don't like, they'll call them out publicly. People that are friends because they have more of an understanding with them, rather than just whatever perception, like whatever list online they have of their reputation. They're gonna talk to them behind the scenes, because I don't know, that's just very common. That's gonna happen. That's just really common. But yeah. Anyways, does blood not have time to drink something? What do you mean? What do you mean? I love drinking. Akumu enemy bad, no trust slimmers, Madame Docs. Yeah. Fucking hell. Evil stuff. Evil stuff. He also used the grooming defense for Peaches. Yeah, he used that defense for Peaches because Peaches also told it to his face. Literally, right? The Peaches one is really rough because in the call that he was in, Peaches literally admits to knowing that there was like a 16-year-old that they were being weird with. But from what I've been explained with, they were like absolutely like crying and breaking down into tears and just like were telling Lio like, their side, quote unquote. And Lio went off more of that, which from my understanding. So it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. But yeah. Yeah, Lio's very charitable towards grooming victims, whether they're proven or not. Yeah, I don't know. I think like Lio could just be a little bit too charitable towards friends at times. That's probably would be like a flaw of his. I think he's gotten like way better at that now. I haven't really seen him sweep for anyone recently. I would have to I'd really have to think about it, but like I'm genuinely thinking, but it's like he hasn't really swept for anyone that's been like friends with him as of recently. Fuck, even KP, right? That Lio is like on good terms with KP. It's not like he was like defending her publicly or anything like that, or even behind the scenes, to be honest with you. I mean, fuck, they were in that call with Beckett, like confronted KP on like their stuff, right? It's like that was still a friend. He's not really sweeping. I can't really think of like any cases like where he's recently done that, to be honest with you. Nezzy Monster, he held accountable in a call recently. We're literally gonna see him like hold Doodletones accountable in a call. It's like I don't know. It's like as of recently, he hasn't really done that much. He's held Heaton accountable recently, like to their actions, to their face. It's like he's definitely changed that. Like he's definitely like worked on that flaw, I would say, from like what I've seen. But yeah. Anyways, we gotta get through more of this video.
Point, you were kind of implying that I was doing it with the intent to hurt her. I was not. I wanted her to understand that the conversation that we had during that time frame was very akin to how V would argue towards people like that.
I understand.
It was tactless, it was tasteless, which is not me downplaying it, mind you. I'm trying to... maybe I don't have the actual, full words for it, but yes, I understand I shouldn't have done that.
No, I know. It's just that I don't feel like tactless or tasteless describes something that is, objectively extremely hurtful. Just say it was disgusting, because that's a good enough word.
Boone, you've been trying to jump in a bit. You wanted to say something?
Doodle, I do want to apologize for it potentially sounding like we were implying something. I don't really understand why you think that, but that was in no way the intent behind. We were not intending to imply that you were acting maliciously in the slightest. I can't speak for Thule, but it doesn't sound like it from Thule, and I can say for certain that was not my intent. So, and I honestly don't really understand why you thought that was what we were doing.
Because when you guys came at me about it initially, like from the beginning of this conversation, when you guys came at me about it, it sounded like you guys were saying that I, again, went out of my way
You
to hurt
argued
someone.
badly.
You guys were like,
Just
"I
like
don't
your
think it's okay for
groomer."
you to do this. When I even
Ugh.
agreed to that, I had apologized to her about it because I didn't want to hurt her about it, or because I realized that what I had done was a problem.
Yeah, no, honestly, so far, the beginning of this call is like not really productive. It does show that they're just gonna break up rather than just be able to handle what's happening. But like, dude, I don't know, bro. Like this, I'm not really like learning much new. So I know that Doodletones is already a bitch. Yeah, I know that. Do I know that they're a hypocrite? Yeah, I mean they've literally like been a hypocrite for like, quite a bit for some situations. Yeah, so it's like I don't know. I'm not really learning much new about them, but it's whatever, I guess.
And I came out with an apology at least twice about it. I might have apologized the third time in the video itself. I don't remember. But the point is, I had already given that apology. I had already tried to make things right with Coda about it. And for you guys to sit here and be like, I don't think that was right for you to do that. Yeah, I understand. I agree with that.
I understand. I understand that you apologized, but you also downplayed it at the end of the video.
I mean to downplay it though.
Okay, but you did.
I'm not
But you did.
downplaying it.
But I'm not trying to.
I think
Doodle,
I'm
part
not...
of this is, and part of this is about Chuli's, and the thing is, the conversation initiated with Chuli's issue with you bringing up the underage stuff. I understand that your intent with that was to
when it comes to the underage stuff, to be honest with that, I still don't 100% see eye to eye with that, because I do still think it's important to document that behavior as persistent, even from before she was being abused. I think that is important. But like,
Mike, I both see where you're coming from and see where Chuli's coming from. And for me also, things. Chuli.
Who keeps joining and leaving the calls, bro? I'm gonna crash out, bro. I fucking hate this server. They do it, and it's like, gotta go, gotta get in, gotta get in route. Shut the fuck up, bro. Fuck off. But yeah, we're just harping on the same thing. Personally, I don't really care if you're documenting someone like before 18 if they do something stupid, because it's like they could still do things that will actually like genuinely affect people, even if they're stupid. Like maybe like what would be different is maybe the labels you give them. But they're still capable of slander and false accusing and like ruining someone's reputation. They're still 100% capable of that. In fact, even more capable of that because they're like really reckless. So I don't know. I think it's still necessary to hold them accountable. I mean, the amount of times that both Lumi, Starbud, and Birdie has done that shit, like, well, they'll just like slander people or just fucking be super reckless with people, just like say things about people, and it's crazy. I think it's very important to hold people like that accountable for their actions, even if they are minor, because the damage that they do could genuinely affect someone's life. Like, that's the main reason why I would disagree with this. But I think I understand where Chuli's trying to come from, but I still don't really see eye to eye to that myself.
Like, I think it's. How do I explain this? I would need to rewatch the video because it's been a while.
Well, I just privated it, so.
Well.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think that's for the best. I do thank you for that.
I think it's probably for the best too, but I think it depends on like.
Thank you for co-signing
how that
that.
documentation came about. Like for instance,
lol.
It seems like truly the way you brought it up was that it was and in fact, Doodle, the way you describe it was the pattern of behavior going into their childhood, right?
Like from the time that they had started as Fluffle YGO, all the way to the time that they were Neko Coda, this pattern of behavior that she showed, this abusive pattern of behavior she showed, from even before she was in the clutches of V, had still persisted all throughout that. This was a pattern that she never grew out of.
And the fact that she never grew out of
with or without.
So wait, now it's changed. Did Neko have these patterns before they were groomed? Is like what I'm getting or gathering here, because that kind of makes things a little bit different from like what Chuli was arguing. If that's the case.
Out V's help.
Okay, but the fact that V was a significant part of her childhood,
she was a victim,
should tell you that the reason why she came out as an adult the way that she did is not entirely her fault. And that going into that pattern of behavior is something that a therapist needs to do, not a YouTuber.
And you can't really say with or without V's help, because V was involved in it. For all we know, like the fact that she was that way and then ended up still being that way could be because of a regression created by interactions with V.
What? What? A regression? That just feels like a stretch, does it not? If I had to argue it, I would just say enabling the bad behavior. They caused a regression? That's the angle we're going with? Like, okay. If that's where we're going with it, fuck me, dude. I don't think he victim blamed at all in that call, but sometimes victims are to blame. What the fuck are you on about, bro? Like, I don't know. Dude. Are we gonna move on from Neko Coda though? Because I don't know. What more can you say? Realistically, right? Like, I feel like everything's been said, right? Like, there has to be other points that you have if you're confronting someone, right? Like, come on.
For all we know.
Like I say, her childhood is something for a therapist to go over, not a YouTuber, not for the public to see.
How much of the video goes over stuff that was in her childhood?
Again, probably a good majority of it, because a good majority of the things that she did was in her childhood.
Then that's probably where it becomes a little bit problematic.
I mean, what am I supposed to do? Just let her get away with the years of abuse she did to other people?
You can talk about the things that she did when she was an adult.
Okay, see, this is where I was like kind of like disagree with Chili a little bit. Again, when you're covering a person, right, that obviously will like be a little mentally ill, right? Like, and there's a minor, right, or prone to making mistakes. Yes, I think, right, there are certain ways you should go about it. I think there are ways to be cautious to go about it, personally, of how I would approach it, right? But if they are affecting other people by, like, slander or, like, you know, ruining other people's lives, I think there needs to be, like, some order taken for correcting the record. I think because what if, like, you know, again, Lumi Starbun, they false accuse someone of being a rapist. Sure, they were a teenager, but those allegations follow you. That could damage your life. That could affect you in the real world. That could affect internet vigilantism to, like, go after that person to do unspeakable things, for all we know. And I think just because Lumi Starbun's a minor, I don't think that should just be ignored. I don't think at all that should just be ignored. I think there would be something like correcting the record that would need to be done. See, that's I guess you could go about it a bit differently. Like, but that's just something that kind of needs to be done a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So, because again, yeah, these are kids. They're impressionable. They could do stupid things, but these stupid things have serious consequences sometimes that if you ignore, you're only making it worse. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really fully agree. Yeah, it's a explanation but not excuse situation. You can understand why they acted like that, but still hold them accountable for what the actions they hurt other people. Yes. You see, that's fine. Because, again, I would definitely treat a case where, like, if there was a minor slandering people versus if an adult was doing it, right? An adult should definitely 100% know better. A minor can sometimes be emotionally driven or manipulated or impressionable by some people and just, like, be swayed to do something. There's a lot of examples, right? So I'd be a lot less harsh, you know, on that, because it's like labels, like, giving them any serious label, right, would be tricky, I would say, because it's like intentions are definitely different. Intentions definitely differ between when a minor does something and an adult does something, in my opinion. But how you go to handle it, that's why I think it would need to be different. But I don't think the answer should just be the minor makes mistakes, everyone just kind of look to the side and let the damage be done. That's stupid. That is genuinely stupid. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. It's a little bit more explained later, but Shuli says it should be handled in private instead of public, dragging them tied to a horse through the town. You see, that the only reason why I'm going to lightly disagree with that is, again, like, and I know I keep bringing up Lumi, but that rape allegation was made public. That needs to be debunked publicly. Or, like, if any minor accuses someone of being a pedophile publicly, that needs to be debunked publicly. Debunking it privately doesn't do anything. It doesn't really do that much, like, because it's still going to be a stain on the internet. It's still going to need to be talked about to an extent, like, because if you just leave it alone and do nothing, it's still going to damage that person's life. I don't really agree with just, like, kind of just ignoring the situation and sidestepping it. That's not how I would go about that at all. But yeah, let's see. But rather than the stuff she did when she was older, which is fair. Let's see. The soy levels of your chat is killing me. Well, Gilded, you see, I think this is an interesting discussion to have. I don't mind. But yeah, random whatever. Some, I think, with Shuli point out it's best about the fact the majority of the video was just videos while she was fighting with Doodle. Yeah, but God. And I'm agreeing. It's over. Gilden's arguing with people that agree with them. They're a contrarian. They'll say one take, one moment. Someone will agree with it and be like, nah, fuck you, loser. They'll be like, Gilden will say pedophilia is bad. Someone will be like, I agree. And Gilden will be like, what the fuck? Are you retarded? I think it's base. Like, Gilden's evil. Okay. But yeah. Oh, definitely it should. It's a situation by situation thing. Yeah, I mean, it's best, like, from like when I've been on the internet for as long as I have, I think the best way to deal with things is definitely not to just put a blanket statement on something. It should definitely be dealt by a case-by-case situation, because no two cases are going to be the same. It's going to be different variables, different things, different reasons, different causes. Like everything's going to be a little bit different. It could be still talking about the same subject matter, but it'll be very, very different. So yeah, obviously no need a blanket statement. You would just need to go case by case. But yeah, anyways.
And how much does abuse was caused by
Don't just let her get away with the abusive things she did to other people then.
Well, Susie, some other people have made videos about it that didn't go over the childhood part. We know this.
And furthermore, Susie, the problem is with some of the stuff that Coda did, and I do acknowledge that they did a lot of messed up stuff. How much of that was caused by the likes of V being a big part of her life as a minor? That could have played a part.
Not as much. Not really as much as people think it is. To be honest.
But you don't get to say that for her.
The fuck? What the fuck is the point of asking? How much do you think V had an impact in this person's life? Oh, I don't really think that much. Oh, you don't get to say that for that. What the fuck was the point of the question? What if Doodletones said, I think it was a big effect? Would you still say, oh, you don't really get to speak on that? That is Neko's thing that they get to speak on. Like, what the fuck was that? You asked them a question, they answered it. Like, what the hell? That was so dumb. That was so unneeded. Like, genuinely, most unimportant question to ask so far. Fuck me, man. Anyways, fuck.
If I could use an outlet
Abusive behaviors from even before she met V.
Yes, and who's to say that he didn't worsen them or encourage her to keep them, or else add anything onto that because of how much she was subjected to him.
I think at the very least, it would have been appropriate to condense what was involved in childhood to make it less of the focus than the things that she did as an adult.
It's very invasive.
See, that I keep saying this, but this is going to be the core disagreement, right? You could maybe you could say it's a bit iffy labeling Neko Koda as an abuser, and you could be understanding with what happened with M and V, right? But again, if they did something that genuinely affected other people's lives that in a very horrible way, side-eyeing that and just kind of like sidestepping away from it, it's just kind of like, I don't know, that's only just like letting it happen. Like you're just letting people get hurt by them. Like that's really fucking reckless. Like that, I don't know, like obviously handle it like responsibly, but just to do nothing is like the worst thing you could do. Like the fuck? Fucking hell.
And very violating to have your childhood picked apart and documented and criticized when, in all honesty, you didn't really know what was going on at that time of your life.
And again, Doodle, I do have to point this out. This is what people against you do with you. They pick apart and criticize things that you've been open about from your childhood.
And I could bring up an example myself of how
Who is bro?
the previous abuser in Ray, like when we documented her long lists of abuse and all that, well, she herself of also had like men.
Okay, another reason why I don't really like these call settings too much is because sometimes there'll be like too much points provided to Doodletones. If everyone wants to confront Doodletones, then go for it, right? If everyone has their things you want to ask, right? The one thing I see them tending to forget a lot is having Doodletones answer after they speak. They just kind of like see silence and just like ask their next question without giving Doodletones like a chance to respond. It's like, come on, let's be real. Like, what's the point of having them there if you're just going to keep talking over any chance that they can to respond with?
any incidents from her childhood there as well, but for the most part, we didn't focus on that when we were bringing her abuse to the public.
There's something I also want to add, and it's the fact that even if some of the stuff that they did was before meeting V, I could point out a lot of the stuff that was done was when she was a teenager. A lot of us have done incredibly stupid stuff as a teenager, especially online.
That too.
What's to say
definitely.
that, like, even...
Yeah.
Because Chuli was just responding. I could bring up this example. The stupid tweet I made in regards to Chuli and what they went through with Thaghost. I was an adult when I did that, but that's no excuse for what I did. And I apologized for that because it was terrible. But when I was younger, I did a lot of stupid shit on here as a minor.
Can I add into this conversation? Do you remember when I got screamed at by V? I was stupid. I did do stupid stuff, but do you see me screaming at her for 7 minutes? No.
I'll be so for real. The thing that V
I'll be
yelled
so
at
for
me
real.
about was you
Lol.
making an alt account. That's not fair on you.
The point, though, is that a lot of us did incredibly bad or heinous shit when we were younger. But what's to say that she didn't grow out of that if V was not a factor? It's very much likely that Coda would have. We're kind of seeing that now with the likes of that DM to Lio, that she's getting help, that she's going to be a therapist, that she's unlearned a lot of this stuff, and that's fantastic.
Also, like, I do want to say one, like, along with that, when her stuff was a teenager, because honestly, as, like, adding on to how we all did stupid stuff as teens, like, we all get influenced in the, like, by the community and our surroundings, physical or digitally, and, like, back at the time, and even still nowadays, and, like, that community that, Dakota was hanging around, it was well known for being, you know, fairly, confrontational, hostile, and toxicity, which was more or less, like, treated as, I'm not going to 100% say...
But we're clearing that out now.
Yeah, no, but, like, when she was in her childhood, when she was entering the community...
Okay. Let me... This is going to be... okay. You're gonna have to follow along with me here on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, let's bring this back to... Right?
Liv.
Sorry.
Liv.
You're right. My bad. I'm still trying to keep that habit, but yeah. So yeah, let's bring this back to Liv then. Are we going to sit here and just not acknowledge, like, what Liv did to Buggy or to Hypo? Like, should we just never, like, acknowledge those when that is, again, another pattern of behavior that followed her into her adulthood?
We don't need to document that, like, publicly online.
No.
Why? Okay, like, that is so odd. Like, okay. I think it is a good thing to kind of show that they've not changed. Maybe you don't have to be as harsh with them as, like, a minor, right? But, like, if they're still acting the same way and have not changed and will not change at all, right? It's like, I think that is important to kind of establish. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I don't understand where Chuli's kind of going with this, but whatever.
If we do acknowledge it as part of the context, if, let's just say I were to make a 9-hour-long video about Liv, I would not make the majority of that video be the things that I would give the context of there being a pattern of behavior, but I would not feel the need to.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, right? At the end of the day, they're just arguing over a preference at this point. A preference of standards. If you don't want to document, minors being fucking idiots and damaging other people's lives, go ahead, man. No one's stopping you. Okay? If somebody else wants to, that's their own prerogative. If you guys disagree, I just don't understand why you can't just agree to disagree. Like, this is obviously not going to go anywhere. But whatever.
Okay, that's enough. First thing we all need to do, because we did get heated, and I'm not blaming anyone, but it's very obvious right now in conversation that Susie feels caged. Take a minute to breathe. Okay? I do not think it is wrong to bring this topic up, or to discuss it, or to give opinions and feelings on it. But we have to keep in mind that every single one of us are human, and we need to pay attention to how we're responding to things.
I understand. I'm not yelling at anyone. I'm not angry.
I know you're not. But I haven't been able to talk because I was in a location where I literally couldn't. So now I can't. So Firstly, I'm going to back this conversation up just a little bit, and I want to reaffirm a couple things here.
Bro.
I know that Susie's defense mechanism is to do what a lot of us do, whether we want to admit it or not, and talk about what we meant when the point is what we did. I do not think anyone, based on the conversation here, Susie, was ascribing malice to you. All right? You know I'm on your side on most things here, okay? In terms of like the general consensus of what we discuss, but that's not what they were doing. I know why you feel that way, though. Now, with that being said, I have to ask, what was it Neko did when they were younger that they did not also do when they were an adult?
I mean, I guess nothing.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you have, and again, this is all retrospect, and something I should have looked into a little further, so I dropped the ball on that too. If that is the case, then it could have focused primarily on what they did when they were an adult, with maybe a footnote about that it was behavior that existed when they were a child. Put in the note about how it may have been exacerbated by terrible people. Say what those terrible people did, make that very clear. But then also go on and talk about, well, here's what I'm doing going forward when it comes to people who have done wrong but aren't monsters. Is I'm going to talk about how to avoid these situations going forward.
What the fuck is the beep noises, Lio?
As opposed to just decrying them. I'm not stupid. I know Neko Koda's done a lot of damage in this community. Heck, he did damage in my household. She did damage in my household. All right, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and downplay anything Koda did. But let's be honest here. In scripture, it says that judgment begins at the house of God, and as such, correction has to begin in our own house too. The way the FCC in general has treated kids as a whole has been pretty bad.
Did motherfucker just pull a Bible verse? Okay. I was at work! Yeah, Lio? Yeah? Blood just pulled a Bible verse, dog. Dad, I'm not the one who recorded this. He also ran. Yeah, fuck me, man.
I'm not saying that this community created Neko Koda, but I do know that it did very little to actually try to correct the behavior. Because it should not have taken me coming in to shake Neko straight. So I'm not going to downplay what she has done and the people she has hurt. Obviously not. That would be horrible on my end. But we also have to learn to keep a measured response on certain things. And I know part of this is because Neko Koda hurt you. And as such, you're going to feel like any conversation about maybe altering or editing of you on that or the video itself can come off like a
Wait,
personal
shit.
attack.
Hold up. Guys. What the fuck? Dude. Hold on. We gotta talk to the real Doodletones. Okay. Fuck. Dude. What the fuck? Dude, okay. You know, I'm gonna get like so many N-word bombs. Okay, this is definitely. We'll see. Hello. What the? Dad. Hello.
Hi.
Dad.
Hi.
Yeah. So, what's up, Doodletones?
I don't really know what you want to be on.
What the fuck? Guys, I think this might be the real Doodletones. The fuck? Are you? You're fucking with me, right?
No? What?
Dude, what the fuck, dude? Dude. So, Doodletones. I kind of want to ask you a few questions.
Yeah? What's up?
So, why did you defend George Raccoon?
Oh, he's a good friend of mine, you know?
Why?
Why would I not defend him? He didn't do anything wrong. Why are you asking me these questions?
They groomed minors.
What?
That's what they did. What do you?
No.
Yes, they did. The fuck?
No.
Yes, they have a sexual attraction to Snow White uniforms.
Really?
Yes.
No, they said on the Twitter. They said on the Twitter they didn't.
Dude, what the fuck?
No.
Also, was Cloak and Dagger a gay op?
Who told you?
I've been speculating.
Who told you?
I've been speculating.
Who told you?
You just did.
I'm sorry, Yen. Your fucking server profile jump scared the shit out of me.
Dude, Yen's on the call. That's Doodletones. That's Doodletones.
Okay.
What's up, guys? It's me, the real Susie Doodletones.
So, why'd you lie about the FCK?
Hey, totally. Hey, totally real Susie Doodletones. Why you like kids? Oh.
Wait, Doodletones. You know what I need you to do? I need you to say. I need you to say this is good news.
It's good news.
We could be bees.
Hold on, hold on, because I've actually used the same voice changer whenever I've gone through bouts of like voice dysphoria. Give me a moment, I could do something really funny.
Dude.
We can have. Wait, you know what would be? Okay. Do you know what would be really funny is if I fucking did the faker if we like did the fucking faker copy pasta from Sonic Adventure 2?
Dad. This is evil.
Kind of a serious topic. I don't know what Sonic has to do with anything.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jester. I gotta continue confronting Doodletones. Okay.
Hold on. I have it open. Give me a second. It will be the funniest shit ever.
Okay, can you guys?
Dead.
Can you say imitation is the highest form of flattery?
Dude, this is actually evil. What the fuck, bro? Dude. Wait, Doodletones.
No.
I got... Oh, actually, Doodletones, I hope you don't mind, but we're gonna drag your E-Dad in here, okay? Yeah? Is that cool? Yo, what's up? What's up, Lio?
Faker, you're the faker around here.
Yeah, what's up, Lio?
Well, I would like to know why you are online, Susie. I thought we ran you off.
Yeah. We don't. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. These streams covering me. It's been really helpful. Is that what I want right now?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Lio, is there anything?
It's way too fucking high.
Lio, is there anything you want to?
Somehow.
Is there anything you want to say to Susie?
Well, I think that it's very important to let Susie know that maybe they should tone down the British accent a little, drop their voice slightly so that the voice changer properly gets that pitch right, and kill George Raccoon.
Yeah?
Leave him alone.
Can we turn George Raccoon into a hat?
Dead.
Hey. What the hell?
Are you fucking adjusting your voice in lifetime?
No.
Too low now.
No, the funniest shit you can do with this is literally you remove the strength aspect of it, and you. I don't sound like that.
Dude. Bro.
I'm getting the Bible.
Yeah, again. It's so evil.
It's so lie over. We're getting.
It is lie over. I'm gonna get the Bible.
No, not the Bible.
Wait till I tell the Cloud Palace about this.
Wait till you tell the CP about this? What? You got CP? What?
What?
No, why?
Hey!
I made that joke because I realized, hey, maybe there's a reason why they call themselves TCP in order to avoid being called.
Yikes.
Oh my goodness.
No, I got Cloud Pass on my hard drive.
You can't chat. You can't have it. I'm not sharing.
Oh, Efron.
Oh.
This guy.
Look, it's
Oh.
the real Susie.
Give me back courthouse right now.
No, you don't.
I don't
deserve
have it. I can't give you something I don't
Efron.
have. Efron doesn't have it. We gave it to Ace.
Had it since
Yeah.
Wait, Ace has courthouse now? When did this happen?
You're so retarded.
No,
Yesterday. All right, I'm leaving. I'm heading out.
Bro. Dad. Okay.
Oh, this single-handedly made my day.
So, did I... okay, so this is the real Suzanne Doodletones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sounds oddly British, I have to admit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dead. Dead.
What?
Dead.
Wait, can you say in that same voice, this town ain't big enough for the two of us?
This pedo ring ain't big enough for the two of us.
Okay, buddy.
I was just more...
Okay, that almost sounded like her. That scared the shit out of me.
Dead.
This pedo ring ain't big enough for the two of us.
Can you wait? Can you please say the line? Say extortion, please.
Dead. Dead. It's so over.
EFW when it's fucking extortion.
Yeah, dead.
No, I have told this bit to some of my other friends, but I'm gonna say it. Susie Doodletones, when she tells you you lost a baby, this is fucking abortion.
Oh, it's so over. It's so. Wait, you know what? Doodletones.
Yeah.
Can you say subscribe to Akumu?
Make sure to subscribe to Akumu. He's my biggest fan.
You should.
I'm looking forward to your video with
Okay. All right. You see, I think. Fuck, dude. I'm getting so fucking derailed. We gotta lock in. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the video. I'm gonna.
I just stopped by because I saw again doing this shit, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it's Susie.
Make sure to subscribe to Heat and Mystery. I'll be helping you.
Yeah. Make sure not to accidentally leave the Discord call, okay, buddy? Fucking hell.
And I hate.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah.
So looks like it's just you and me, Ace.
Well, actually, I'm also gonna leave so I can watch the call. So you have fun, buddy.
Oh,
okay. Okay, little Ephron.
Okay. Little.
Yeah, you're a little short. You're 4 foot.
What? No, I'm not. What? Where did this come from?
Lots of people in the Cloud Palace have said you're 4 foot.
I have never heard that you again.
Hi, Susie.
Hi, buddy. My best friend.
Okay, don't leak that on stream. Okay.
Keep
And
it covering for me.
okay. So we're ending it right here. We're ending it right here. You take out all the cameras. I'm I'm just connecting everybody. Fuck you. All right. Fuck you, Susie. Okay. Anyways, see ya, buddy. Yeah. Okay. Terminated. All right. Here we go. Back into the call like nothing happened.
Trying to do. Nobody here hates you, dislikes you, or just is disgusted by you. They just take some issues with things, and we're just talking about it. Okay.
All right.
In general, there is a concept that's been thrown out a lot about perfect victims. There is no such thing at all. And this is somebody who has victimized other people, but is also a victim. And in talking about this video, it also talks about people that Nekokoda has victimized, and we can't decry them. We can't sit here and say that they need to be quiet about what Nekokoda's done to them because, well, Nekokoda's gone or whatever. It can still be talked about. What they did as a child maybe needs to be talked about in terms of like private discourse as opposed to public. Their public adult behavior does need to be discussed with the hopes that it will not continue. And considering that the one account she was even talking to me on, she nuked a while ago, I don't think she's coming back. The curse of Nekokoda was broken 2 years ago, as you guys call it, where she comes back every Christmas. And she's gone. She's not coming back this time. All right? So, let it breathe. I'm going to mute now because I got to film Popper. So, what I would like to do now is, Susie, I want you to go ahead and give your thoughts about the video and what Nekokoda has done. And I want you to detail why you feel the way you do. All right?
It just, I think Koda had hurt a lot of people with like a lot of maybe it was under the influence of V, fine, but like a lot of it didn't really involve V at the end of the day. A lot of it.
Dude, why the fuck is Lio arguing with Meta in my chat, bro? Are you like both in my server? I am fully down. All right, I am fully down to let you guys hash this out and call right now, bro. Like, what the fuck are you guys on about, bro? I am 100% down to let you guys fucking, like, I'm 100% down to let you guys hash it out and call, bro. Bro. What the fuck are you guys talking about, bro? Dude, I've already had a derail at this point. You guys are just harping about the same points in the call. So, I mean, fuck it, man. Fuck it. If you guys have any grievances you want to handle right now, bro. Fuck me. Oh, here we go. I don't know. That's if they accept it. I'm very curious. But we'll see. If not, dead. Okay. What did I get tagged in? Uh-oh. I probably am getting mogged right here. Ace, they're arguing about Lolly. The fuck, guys? Like, why? We need to lock in, okay? Stop talking about lolicons and how much you like them, okay? This cannot be happening. Sure, Ace. Okay. I'll... I'm in call. What's up? Hey, Lio.
Yo.
Dude, what the fuck is happening, bro?
It is big upsetty that being taken seriously by me.
Alright, let's see. They're saying, I'm not great at debating, but sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, Alright.
I mean, it's not like we haven't already done this before. It's not like they didn't get dogged on in my server initially about this by even morons like Stardust over this. But sure, let's go ahead and relitigate this again.
Yeah, okay, so what I'll do, anyone else that joins the call, I'll have them muted. I'll try to keep this focus on just both you and Cash.
I've got about 30 minutes I can do this with.
Okay, and Jester, I'm just going to ask you to mute, alright?
Oh, yeah, no
problem. Alright. Alright, here we go. You guys are settled, I guess.
Well, come on, Meta. Let's hear it. Let's hear all the instances where I have been uncouth in dealing with children. I'm curious in terms of predation cases.
I can't. Oh, okay, my mic's working.
Something's got to.
Hold on. Okay, what did you say?
Did I stutter?
No, yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Wow. I said
So
I'm
you could just say it
waiting.
again.
Essentially, I want to see what totally real cases where I have mishandled children in terms of predation. I want to know what those are. Go ahead, produce them.
Yeah, like, okay, I was referencing, the whole FCK situation where you didn't look into it and you only looked into, like,
You mean
Peaches at the time.
Hold on. You mean the thing that, number one, I wasn't even informed there was child predation going on?
Yes, you were.
And that
Yeah, you were given the logs.
No, I was not
You could have
informed there
looked
was
in further.
I was not. Hey, stupid. Pay attention to what I'm actually saying instead of what you want to think I'm saying. There's a difference between people being absurdly inappropriate around children and preying on them. I know that's probably very hard for you to understand, but there is actually a difference. And on top of that, I didn't have the time to pour through them because I had a full-time job and I was dealing with somebody who was consistently like manipulating me the entire time. So I have to ask a question. So this FCK stuff, how much of it did you look into? How many of the logs did you go through?
Well,
do you
I'm
not believe
in
that
the
I was manipulated by
server
Peaches?
because I can't, like, look into the server,
You can't.
obviously.
Did you ask to? Did you ask to?
No, because that's, like, not my business. And I'm not like a fucking.
Okay. So if
I'm not
it's
like a
you,
YouTuber with a
you have
massive platform.
excuses. No, you're a YouTuber that is dishonest by its nature. You can't even tell the
I'm not
difference
even
between
really a
specific things.
YouTuber.
Well, if I
You have a YouTube account,
if I may cut
put
in
out
just real
content,
quick.
you're a YouTuber.
If I may cut in
Yeah,
real quick.
one video.
Wouldn't it, like, isn't it kind of like unfair to hold Lio to a standard that to say he is obligated to have to look into it, but you wouldn't do that for yourself?
Yeah, because he had the logs. I don't have the fucking logs.
I mean, correct me if I'm
the
sorry, lad, not to cut you off.
Go
But
ahead.
correct me if I'm wrong. But you are like friends with some of the people that did have the logs, right? Or am I misinformed on that?
Yeah, but like, is Akuma gonna give me the logs? Like,
He
what
could.
for? What purpose?
Did you try asking? Like, I guess it's like the line of questioning I'm trying to go down.
I guess not directly.
Akumu gives out. Oh yeah, he does. Akumu gives out those logs as often as you give out stupid points. He absolutely would hand them out to you. He's handed them out to anybody else who has asked. What are you on about?
No, I mean, I haven't. I guess I haven't asked, but
No,
I
you
don't
haven't.
see the
'Cause
purpose
here's the
for
thing.
why I would have them, though.
Are you kidding me? So you want to sit here and
Yeah,
go
don't-
on about how I should have totes known there was grooming there, which was again never stated because there's been plenty of servers. Where
No,
people
I'm
have been
saying you should
unhinged
have
and no
totes
grooming's
looked
happened.
into it.
With what time would I have been able to look into it? Tell me.
Bro, you're chronically online. You're telling me you don't have like
Do you know what that
just
means?
a minute to look into
You know
it?
what? Hold on. A minute. Do you know how big those logs are? No, wait, you don't because
yeah.
you didn't look through them. You have absolutely no clue how large those
Yeah,
logs
'cause
are. You
I
also
don't
know
have
dick
access
all
to
about my
them.
time. No, it's because you're stupid and you don't actually pay attention to anything going on. You're sitting here trying to cite something you clearly have no knowledge on.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy is not a retort to facts. I'm sorry, but it's not.
The facts is like what? That I
The
just
fact
don't
is you
have the
don't know what you're
logs.
talking about. The fact is you
Oh.
are sitting here even trying to play pretend that Peaches has never manipulated me when literally even my biggest of detractors have said,
God.
no, that's obvious.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Do you have a job?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
You need to get another one then.
Why?
Because for all the talk about me being chronically online, you can't even look into something that you have clear access to. You have
I
one degree
don't,
of separation
though.
between you and Akumu. Are you kidding me?
What? Okay, but I'm just asking, why would he give me the logs though?
Why wouldn't you ask for them if you're so concerned with them? I mean, you had no
Because
problem coming
I
to my
already,
server and spamming out
Oh,
random
okay.
images of massive titties on anime characters trying to claim someone's a lolicon. Why would you do that unless
Okay,
you were
I
concerned
didn't
about stuff like
spam
that?
it.
But then you don't care
I
about the
didn't spam
FCK.
it, though.
You're actually deranged.
I actually didn't spam anything or any like photos of that.
I'm being hyperbolic about the
That was
spamming. Why don't you
actually
go ahead and assess the other stuff I just said?
If I may.
well. Okay. No, yeah, the lolly character was actually a underage character from Pokemon.
They can't be if they have if their tits are big enough to where they're larger than somebody's head, it's not a lolicon.
That
That's
doesn't
not how
matter.
that
They
works.
looked
I'll tell
like
you
a
what the word
kid.
means.
They were dressed in the
What do you mean they
same
look like
exact
a kid?
clothes when they were a kid.
That doesn't
Yes,
mean that it's a lolicon image, you absolute
is.
brainlet. Oh my
No, it doesn't.
goodness. No, it doesn't. What is a lolicon? Tell me. What is a lolly? By that definition, what is it?
An underage drawing of a kid.
It is a character with neotenous features of a child.
Yeah.
Child. Are
Yeah.
big tits a neotenous feature of children?
No. Are you gonna say
Thank
like
you.
it was aged
Debate
up or
ended.
something?
That would be the implication, yes.
But they were dressed the exact same way as when they were like a kid in the show.
Okay, so let me go ahead and break this down for you then. If, I don't know, a woman wears a button-down blouse and a pleated skirt, but she wore something similar when she was in school, does that mean whoever has sex with her as an adult means that they are into kids?
No, it's fucking weird though.
How is it weird? It's just a pleated skirt and a button-down shirt. Are you dumb?
If it's like a kid's school uniform, that's fucking weird.
I didn't say anything about a kid's school uniform.
Okay, but that character was drawn in the exact same uniform as when they were like a kid.
Probably to identify them. That doesn't mean that they are in fact a child. You are genuinely either very stupid or intellectually dishonest. Okay, saying it's weird isn't the same as saying it's lolicon. Lolicon implies a child, which implies that somebody is sexually attracted to children. And if you're going to sit here and try to play pretend that I don't care about kids because I didn't have time to look into the FCK and because I was wildly inappropriate with jibs, you don't have a single thing to stand on here.
Also, like, there's a difference between being weird, which is usually a harmless thing, as opposed to being a pedophile. I'm sorry.
And saying
but, like,
no isn't a counter argument, just so you know. Again, this is why nobody in Putopia takes you seriously. They all just make fun of you constantly. Like, there's a reason why I could sit there on my mobile alt, everyone tell you that it's not me, and you actually believe them.
That wasn't me. That was Shelly. That
was you.
No,
Shelly wasn't in the call. That wasn't Shelly.
It was not Shelly. It was some other person.
No, that was you, stupid. You said
No,
Lio. You're like, no, that's not Lio. Oh, okay.
Switching the story does not help you in any case.
No, okay, so like no, that okay. It was a joke to say that it wasn't you. Oh my god, that wasn't Lio, it's LA. But I wasn't the one that was confused that it wasn't you.
Then why'd you ask, dummy? Patu even says it was you.
Ask what?
Oh my goodness.
Ask what?
Do you have a really hard time following conversations, Cash?
No, what are you talking about?
Again, are you having a hard time following conversations, Cash?
He's made it clear as day. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're still on the same
amazing.
topic. We haven't shifted yet, Cash.
Yeah, if we shifted, we would have said so.
This is amazing. I love this.
No, you were saying that I was confused about it being you.
I said you are either stupid or you are intellectually dishonest.
Okay,
and I
that's
pointed
not what
out
you
a
said,
time
though.
where you got bodied in Putopia because you were actually dumb.
Okay. What are you referencing though?
I just told you.
Like specifically.
How many times? Okay, do you need me to reference multiple times where you've been stupid?
Like, I've been stupid
Okay, I'll do it
as
then.
a joke.
I'll do it then. You were dumb enough to try
Okay.
to back up Nerf when it came to coming into my server. You were dumb enough to accuse someone of being a lolicon without clearly understanding what a lolicon is. You were dumb enough to come in here and try to play pretend because I've had some instances where I haven't done things the best way, and I will agree I did not. That means I don't care about kids. Something that I don't even think my detractors would agree with. The fact is, I'm very stupidly concerned with kids to a destructive degree, and then you come in here and try to play pretend like you don't know what's being talked about here. Yes, you are actually an idiot.
I'm not playing pretend. I'm like,
okay, then you're actually an idiot.
You're trying to say that, like, okay, I don't, whatever.
Come on,
Actually-
Master Debater, get it together.
I do kind of like want to backtrack a little bit because it seemed like
Sure.
you kind of implied that there was multiple cases that he mishandled child predation. I know the first example you brought up was the FCK logs. I'm kind of curious to what other cases you would point to because I would like to dive into that as well.
Not not cases of child predation, just cases where he wasn't exactly I guess informed enough, or was
Well, there is a huge difference, though,
and didn't
right?
look into it.
Okay, then give an
Here.
example if you want to make it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say in the comments.
What? Okay. Do
That
you want
was
to
being-
restate it here? Just for
Here,
the-
let's go ahead and break this down to its basic. Okay, Cash, do you have friends?
Yeah.
Have you ever said something wildly out of pocket or hurtful to your friends?
As a joke, maybe?
No, that's not what I said. I'm not saying, did you say a joke that hurt your friends? I said, have you said anything wildly out of pocket to your friends? I mean, cruel, mean, out of nature. Have you done anything like that to your friends before?
No.
How about your family?
Family? Maybe like one time when I was
Cool.
like
That means
12 or
then
something.
let me be clear. By your standards, that means you never cared about your family.
That's not my standards though.
Your standard was Lio did bad thing, therefore Lio doesn't care about kids.
No, it's a multitude of things.
A multitude of things you can't even
one of
cite because you're a
one of them
drooling
being
moron.
the FCK. Okay.
The FCK blog, again, I had no knowledge there was grooming going on there.
Yeah, but
Grooming
just
is
because you
different than
didn't
adults
like
being out.
you not
Here's the-
knowing is
Hey,
still
hey,
like
stupid.
negligent
Pay
because you
attention.
didn't
Pay
like
attention,
look
stupid.
into
Hey,
it.
pay attention. Pay attention.
Okay.
Here's the truth of the matter when it comes to the FCK logs. The grooming happened outside of the server, you drooling Neanderthal.
It's still like adults sharing porn to kids.
Yes, it is adults being wildly inappropriate around kids. That is not the same as grooming.
Okay, I want to understand your argumentation here, right? Because so you're saying because Lio didn't look at the FCK logs to see the grooming, therefore Lio doesn't care that kids got groomed. But by that own statement, Lio wouldn't have known there was grooming, so how would he not care about the grooming happening if he didn't know it was there? do you see why I'm getting a bit confused here? What your argumentation is? If someone gets shot across the world and I'm not told about it, that means that I don't care that someone got shot in that specific
No,
instance.
my point was that he had the log.
But he didn't see.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but he didn't see the grooming. So
Because
how
the
could
grooming
he?
didn't happen in the server. It happened
Okay,
in
you're being
DMs.
like super hyper specific. I meant like
Yes.
Okay,
Because that is what this
there
is. Everything is specific, you moron. When it comes to case degradation, you have to be specific.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, no one's grooming in the server. It's adults
Thank you,
being
then.
very inappropriate with
Which
children.
is not the same as grooming. Your claim was I mishandled a grooming case. Ta-da! You're a moron.
I didn't say you mishandled a grooming case. I said you were negligent when it involved kids.
How is that
like,
negligence
in these like
when number one, I didn't have time to go through them because here, let me go ahead and walk you through my day to day at that time. I would wake up at 3 a.m. By 5 a.m., after getting ready for freaking work, I would have to be in call with Peaches from 5 a.m. until around 9 p.m. like minimum every single night, even while I was at work working 50 to 60 hours a week. Tell me what time I had.
I'm saying is if because you claim to care about kids being like
Yes,
in danger.
I do.
I feel like you would have had time.
What did I say
you
that you
care so
just
much.
missed?
All right.
Okay,
Okay, you would have made
What have you done then? What have you done then? Since you come into my server crying about quote
nothing
unquote
because that's
what do
like
you?
that's your
I'm not done.
standards.
I'm
You're
not
saying
done.
you
I'm
care.
not done. What do you? I'm not done. You were sitting here trying to paint somebody in my server as a lolicon with literally no evidence. What was your reason for that? If it wasn't because you actually care about kids, what was your reason for that?
Because at the time I was like a fan of your content.
No, you
and
weren't.
I thought
Don't you
yes,
sit
I
here and
was.
lie through your teeth like that. I can go
I
on my channel. I
literally was
cannot
that.
find you once. You lying, disingenuous piece of garbage.
Yeah,
you
because
came
I don't
in.
comment.
You came
I don't
in
comment.
with Nerf's partner at the time, holding hands and being stupid. Don't play this game with me. You're not smart enough for it.
Holding hands. Seriously?
Yes, you two were besties until Monstrous came in and embarrassed both of you.
Yeah, that's what she did. Yeah, true.
Yeah, she made Nerf's girlfriend completely disavow you because you were coming in there slinging slurs. Oh, great fan of my content.
Slurs. I was slinging slurs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Specifically
in your server. In your
Specifically
server.
Guac. Specifically in Guac.
Oh,
because you
yeah,
call him
yeah. So
Doc.
not in your server.
Are you struggling here?
Are you? Because I
came into my
never like
server,
sling
and
a
then you went into
single
Guac.
slur in your server.
My
At
point
all.
is you came into my server hand in hand with Nerf's girlfriend and then immediately migrated to Guac where Monstrous calls you out for slinging slurs. You are not a fan of my content. You're
In
not around.
Guac?
You're making things
Seriously?
up because you're actually stupid.
In Guac Barrel.
Yes, in Guac Barrel.
Oh yeah, I can't say slurs in Guac Barrel.
No, I'm saying
not
you
what
cannot
he's
sit here and talk about how much you love my content, how big of a fan you were while you're sitting there slinging slurs somewhere. I'm sorry, you can't.
No, I was a
what I'm
casual
getting at.
fan. And then I joined your server.
I highly doubt that. I severely doubt that.
Well, I mean,
Just okay.
I don't
I
really
can
care about
sit
that
here
point,
and
to be
say that,
honest.
but I can also sit here and say that you don't care about children, and as much as you say
Okay,
that you do, I can just like not
if
believe that.
I kind of do want to like step in though, because if you're saying, right, I don't know, like this doesn't like connect, right? If you're saying Lio doesn't care about children, we kind of had the goalpost shift by him not even being notified that in the FCK, like he wasn't notified that children were being groomed. So how can he not care about children being groomed if he was not notified it was happening? I guess would be like where I want to like ask you about that.
That's the thing. I believe that he was though.
But that's
He
is there
was
any evidence that he
notified when
knew?
he was given the logs.
Well, did Akumu
Yeah.
come to him and say, "Hey, children are
Wait,
getting
hold on.
groomed"?
Hold on. Who gave me the logs?
I think Laka.
No, Laka didn't give me
Yeah,
the
I have a.
logs.
Yeah, I saw a screenshot where you two were talking about it.
Laka offered me the logs a couple of months ago from now that were censored. The initial set of logs I got was not from Laka, doofus. If you had actually followed Akumu's stuff, you'd know that.
He said in his video that you got him Laka.
No, I didn't get them from Laka. Holy crap, you're stupid.
Okay, then who? Okay, how am I? Okay, who did you get them from? Then?
Okay, I'll give you a rundown. I'll give you the rundown then, small moron. I got an entry pass to it. I was given an invite from Manga Common. Somebody I know went in with an alt and extracted the logs that way.
Okay,
Ta-da! I've said it before. Pay attention.
now you have it.
Yes, I have. I've talked about it multiple times. I've literally even told go talk to Akumu since you're scared to do so. Ask him, hey,
Why would I be
did
scared
Lio
to
have
talk to
somebody go in the
Akumu?
server and give him logs? It's not hard. Good God.
Also,
Yeah, I
you
heard him
can't
say
just
that.
know you
I
that's
just
going
thought it
forward
was
paying
Laka.
attention when you haven't been able to the entire fucking time. I'm sorry, you can't.
Okay. No, I was saying I thought you got them from Laka.
I mean, okay, so just to not like try to harp on it too much, is there proof that like I know like okay, is there any evidence out there that Lio knew that there was child grooming happening in the FCK and just said fuck it, I'm not looking at that? Because like that's kind of like how you made it sound when you presented it like this.
Me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Sorry, yeah, I'm asking you, Cash.
Can you say that again?
Okay,
I was
I'll ask it
looking-
again.
I was
I'll
looking
ask it
somewhere
again,
else.
Cash. Is there any evidence that someone went to Lio Convoy and said, "Hey, children are getting groomed in here," and Lio just said, "Fuck it, I'm not looking at it," because that's kind of like how you kind of framed it when you came in here.
Oh no. Okay, from my perspective, it seemed that he just said he didn't have any time, and thus I believe like he just didn't care.
Okay.
If he didn't, that doesn't. They aren't the same thing.
Hold
This
on.
is like fucking.
Hold on. So, you're essentially making an accusation off of an assumption. Is that what I'm gathering here?
Just from the way I look at it.
Well, yeah, that would be an assumption.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
That is really reckless, Cash. Especially if you're gonna say something as like damaging as like you don't care about children's safety.
That's just what I believe.
Well, I'm trying to be neutral here.
You know-
I'm not trying to be biased, but like that is extremely reckless to do. Like if you basically just
know-
said that you did that off an assumption.
Do you know what matters more
Hey,
than
guys.
personal perspective and personal opinion, Cash? Facts. And I certainly don't care about your feelings.
Bro.
Come on, that was good. Yeah, give me that one. Give me that one.
Fuck you.
No, you're actually stupid. It's very clear that you come in with a bias instead of actual knowledge. You just desperately want me to be something that I'm not, and that's a you problem. I'm sorry, you're stupid. Maybe work on that.
Okay.
I mean,
Why'd you say that like a question?
sorry. Jester, what did you want to say?
I was saying, like, Ash, listen, like, you're operating off of the logic of somebody saying they like waffles and going, well, I guess you just fucking hate pancakes then. Like, what?
Dude.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, to be honest, right? I don't even care if you don't even like
You don't think
Lio,
so, but yet you
right?
spent, like, what, the past 20 minutes doing this?
Yeah, I mean, okay, to be fair, right? I don't even care if people don't like Lio, right? If people don't like Lio, that's their own, like, prerogative. But, like, you did come in here and say that he fucked up child predation cases or, like, didn't care about children.
No, I didn't say that.
You said something along the along the lines of he messed up child predation cases and, like, sourced the FCK as it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was like saying okay, yeah, I guess so. I was saying he was being like just negligent when it came to these cases. Like it's
But then when I ask you a follow-up, how would it be negligence if he wasn't informed that it was happening?
Also, you think I think you're a drooling idiot for being negligent on making accusations you have no actual evidence for. So,
no.
Womp womp.
It's not just the FCK.
Okay, then we can get into that. We can get
like,
into that. If there's other cases, I would love to see the points cited.
I've got another 10 minutes. Let's do it.
Okay, yeah. It's like past situations, which I know like it's gonna be like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. It's like in the past.
Well, can we?
And like I've grown past
never
that,
once,
obviously.
I have so never once said that. I've been bullied on this stream for making apologies for things I've done in the past. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's okay, let's just cite the situations. Yeah, let's cite the situations. Let's not get too wrapped up in this. Yeah, let's cite the situations that you want to use from his past. I mean, I've been pretty critical of Lio's past. A lot of people have been. Even Lio's been pretty critical of his past. So, if you have something, we could talk about it. All right, I'm fully open to do that.
Okay. Well, another one was that I forgot the person's name, but it was something with their uncle or father. I forgot.
What?
It was where you said that the kid should like record.
Oh, you're talking about. Okay. I think they're talking
You're
about.
You're talking about Jordan, and congratulations on proving that you were unironically that I got my opinion from a YouTuber. Do you know what happened there? Tell me.
Yeah, you were like. Okay, I know you're gonna say like,
like,
oh, we were just spitballing ideas, but yeah, you made a suggestion that they should record if anything like happened to them instead of just like
so I'm gonna break
going
this
to
down.
the police first.
I'm gonna break this down for you since you and apparently a lot of other people are actually genuinely too stupid to know what 2 + 2 equals. So let me explain this to you. At that point in time, we had police contacted, their school was contacted. Their mother knew, which we have recorded, by the way, from a live stream, that their mother knew exactly what happened there. They had no homeless shelter would take them, no friend that would take them, no family would take them. Their mother had previously let the freak come in the night before, and Jordan was scared. We had no recourse, nothing. So some of us got into a call that Jordan did not have any access to. Jordan wasn't there, and we spitballed ideas. And one of them was, maybe Jordan should set up some form of surveillance in case he comes in. That way, there's something there. We did not say, record your assault. We did not say, record your rape. We certainly didn't say, record something and send it to us. We said, if that person comes in, there's evidence there that you can actually give the police since they're not taking you seriously. Now, according to Vlad, who actually consulted a lawyer about, don't you say yeah, because half of what I just said you had no clue about because you claimed that we didn't contact the police. You're a drooling moron. Moving on, Vlad actually contacted a lawyer and asked his opinion on it. Lawyer says, at worst, reckless, but it's all we had to do at the time. That was the only option we had was spitballing. Thankfully, we didn't need to go through with any of that because the person apparently took off back to Mexico. I hope he's dead. You sitting here saying, well, this is negligent. You didn't know what was going on, you drooling halfwit.
Well,
sit down.
Actually, about that too, what I'll ask you, Cash, at best, right? I could say Lio was probably a bit reckless in the decision making with that, maybe. But like, I mean, like he
That's
probably could have
what
had a
I
better
was literally
suggestion.
gonna say.
Sure. But like, we're talking about he's neglectful to children's safety, right? Like he doesn't care about children, right? Like that's kind of like what we're diving into. Wouldn't that be like a weird case to choose that he kind of did every avenue and route that he could have done before prior to that decision?
No, it's like he could have contacted Rain.
Well,
or like
it was very.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I have to ask. What do you know about Rain? Tell me, Cash. What do you know about Rain?
It involves like
What do they do?
like
I didn't say what does it involve. What do they do? What do they do? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, not off the top of my head, I could look it up.
Cool. Then let me explain something to you, or let me ask you a question rather. If I contacted Rain, if I had
I
another
just
kid
know
that was
the
going through
basics.
this, if I contacted Rain, if I was dealing with another kid who was going through this, do you think they'd magically swoop in a single day and abscond them away to safety? Is that how you think that works?
In a single day? No,
Yes, because
like,
that's the
someone
time we
would
were
have
working
came-
in, doofus.
Someone would have came and like
Within
relocated
a day?
them.
Within a day?
No, they could have called like CPS or something.
You mean CPS who would have been in contact with the police who literally just didn't care?
Yeah, because you were
Those people?
calling your local police. You had to call the
No,
police
I'm
in the
talking about
area.
Jordan also called their police. The police literally came to Jordan's home. The school also knew. The mother also knew. Holy crap, you're dumb.
I want to. Okay, Cash, right? Seeing as like you're saying that Lio, like considering you're dealing with like a day's frame of time to literally stop a theoretical rape or assault, and you seem to think that Lio did this incorrectly. How would you stop someone from getting raped if you had a day to do that and you had no other way of stopping it? Given you have already contacted the police and done everything that Lio said that he has done.
I'm not trying to say that he is supposed to have like all that power to like
Yeah,
stop
so what
a
would you have
rape.
done? Okay, that's not okay. So you're saying what he did was incorrect. Okay, so what should he have done then?
No, I was saying like the suggestion of like recording was like just reckless to even like suggest in the
Surveillance?
first place.
But
And now
surveillance is reckless.
it's not surveillance.
I want to also
Hold on.
Trying to record it.
What is surveillance? Do you know what surveillance is?
Yeah.
When you walk into Walmart, since I know you're an American citizen, and you look up and you see the camera up there, what's that called?
The surveillance
A surveillance what?
camera.
And you're telling me that Jordan setting up a camera to record is not surveillance? Are you stupid?
No,
So I don't think
it's not professional surveillance.
Did I say it was
That's what I
professional,
think.
you nitwit?
That's what I think. What
You drooling
surveillance
idiot!
means.
You bumbling moron! I'm about to go into 80s villain insults on you. You're that dumb.
Bruh. Let's take it down a notch, Lio. Take it down.
Never.
I want to also like. It just seems like you've just sort of come in here with like a preconceived notion of the fact that you clearly don't like Lio, and that's fine. People can not like someone. That's totally fine, right? But the argumentation that you presented is literally just been a parroted statement from people without actual any of like further looking into it of an actual understanding of what's actually happened. I also want to point out when you went onto your second point, which was the recording and the surveillance, you did originally say that it was a point of negligence, and you've just sort of reshifted your argumentation to being what was the wording? Being reckless. I think that's pretty different. I think you've shifted your argumentation there from Lio being doing nothing to Lio has done something, but you don't think it's the best because it fits. It doesn't make you look as bad. You just sort of nodded your head when someone said that.
It's amazing.
I want to point that out. But and it is fine if you don't like Lio. You can just say you don't like Lio. Okay.
Yeah,
You have actual points
don't.
you can bring against him.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very open to like have Lio getting mogged on my stream. It's kind of funny, but no, like, no, but like,
Bring it.
yeah, no,
Cool,
but
but
honestly,
emo kid.
For that.
yeah, real, but honestly, right? Like, if we're talking about like cases where like Lio doesn't care about children, it does kind of like fall flat when you're showing me a case like Jordan where he exercised a bunch of avenues and at worst he was just a bit reckless. But like, it's not really negligence if he's doing everything in his own power that he knows for his own routes and avenues to help this kid. It's reckless, sure, like what ended up being the result, but it's not negligence. And that, I don't know, that just doesn't kind of align with the Lio doesn't care about children.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I get that. It like negligence is probably not like the best word to use. But
well,
I'm just saying it was. I know it wasn't used. It was just reckless to say that, and I feel like I'm repeating
It's
myself.
reckless
But
to make. Hold on. It's reckless. It's reckless to make a suggestion. Well, that's fascinating. Do you know what the word reckless means?
Not because that was an idea at all. It was reckless.
An idea is reckless? Because you do realize reckless, like part of the definition is an act, right? You do realize that? You're so dumb.
Well, okay. I think it's very obvious that I don't think the Jordan case would necessarily align with it, where there's probably some mistakes made. We could probably agree to that. But yeah, whatever. I don't think it aligns with like the original point, right? Is there
No, and on top of that, I actually have to go. I'm taking my wife to dinner. We can rehash this again later if Cash can actually get some receipts together.
Imagine.
Until then, I believe it was. Go ahead.
Imagine. Sorry, honey. I was arguing with losers online again.
Right? That'd be amazing. But no, I'm about to take her to dinner.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh no, I
Lio.
don't drink. But no, in words of the great philosopher Grimlock, me Grimlock love when have stupid enemies.
Okay, bro. Okay. All right. Well, Cash, if you're down, we could probably like reschedule a second thing if you want to like bring more points to it. But if not, I will leave it alone too. That's your decision.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
The Jordan thing was not really like what I was trying to say with it. I don't know, I'm not really good.
Yeah. I mean,
words.
yeah, that's all right. I think I'm probably just gonna end the discussion here. If you want to like I said, if you want to like talk about some of this stuff next stream or something like a later stream or like with Lio or whatever, that's fine. I'm totally fine with letting you guys hash it out again. But I would just suggest come with, I guess, more receipts and points this time and actually think out your arguments a bit.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah,
All right.
I was just like commenting in the live stream, and I didn't really have like receipts exactly pulled up.
All right then. Well,
for like a debate, you know.
Yeah, I am gonna like remove you from the call now, but
okay.
All right. Prepare for the next war. I'll see you. Dead.
Hell. Well, hi guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't see you there.
Yeah.
Top 10 most unplanned things ever.
Top 10 heroes of all time, actually.
Dead. I like to think the wife is just microwaving some. Yikes! Yikes! Yeah, dead.
Would you like a debate with you for wine, please, sir? Oh fucking hell.
Dead.
That's so dumb.
Oh my god, that was rough. That was genuinely rough.
That's awesome, dude.
Dude, I mean, okay. I think like it was already like I try to like go into these like when people confront Lio, right? Because like I'm on good terms with Lio, but it's like I enter these with like no bias at all because it's like I will admit, yeah, there's definitely Lios did like things in the past that we could be critical of. However, it's just like when they were making the point of like what like child neglect, it's like the points that they were using for it just did not support their claim at all, and it's like. If anything, they put a case where Lio cared too much, but maybe didn't have the best suggestion, or another one where he just didn't even know what was going on. So, say negligence would just be kind of not the correct term for that.
Exactly. That's why I mean I was a bit. That's why I did pick our big day to do so, but harp on the changing wording for their stance on the Jordan thing, because that does change your argumentation to being the other end of that spectrum. Of caring too much.
I am pretty convinced that they'd probably just watch the Stardust stream with like Barbie.
I am. As soon as I heard they rain, dude, I was like, okay, you watch the Barbie debate. I know what your game is. I know what your game is. No, but more seriously, like people know I've quite a good bias towards Lio, but if someone's got an actual thing to say against them and critique, go for it, dude. Go for it.
Yeah,
I think that applies for everyone online. I think anyone who's got any like brain cells they can run together, if they've done something like that they fucked up on, and they've not really thought of it from that perspective, then they're gonna listen to that person. And I like to think Lio's one of those people, but I think that the argumentation used in that was just so gay.
Yeah.
And wrong.
I mean, I really don't even care. Like, I know you don't care either, but I don't care if people don't like Lio, bro. Like, not everyone's gonna like everyone here. It's like people have their own reasons. It's whatever. I think that would be stupid. Can you imagine? Like,
I love everyone in commentary.
no, like this would be like old art CC. It'd be like, did you just say something mean about Lio Convoy? Yeah, how about you face him and call?
Did you just agree with gilded poo? That must mean you like fucking like.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah. Start a stream with a fake lawyer, lol. Yeah. I'm very well aware of that, buddy. We're on the way. No worries, lol. This guy. Yeah, dude, have fun with your dinner, bro. Like, have fun with your second McDonald's meal, okay? Confront someone there. Dude.
Well, I'm gonna let you get on with the amazing Susie content. I can't believe you managed to get them on stream. That was
to be honest, with like no preparation, like I thought that was kind of interesting too. But yeah.
Well, next time they're on, make sure to give me a ring so I can ask them a few questions myself.
Okay, yeah, that'll be fair. I'll DM you or whatever. But yeah, you take care. Cheers.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was fun. Anyways. You know, the actual title of the stream, back into Susie Doodletones. Of course you're eating cheesecake after that, but yeah, back into Susie Doodletones. Here we go.
Was just Coda doing what Coda has always done. Even as far back as the Fluffle thing, she would constantly try to, like, hammer on and like, keep coming back as this, like, annoying sea lion of a person who just did not want to fucking, you know, lose a conversation. And it just got worse as time went on. And yeah, that could be because of V. I understand that. But like at some point we have to acknowledge that this is just a pattern of behavior that Coda herself did. Even going further than that, who's to say that she just never unlearned the behaviors even going into her adult years? At that point, do we still talk about what she did as an adult? Because now we're putting into question how much V influenced her. At that point, do we even talk about Coda at all?
I believe that you can.
As someone who,
oh, sorry.
And as someone who was like constantly at odds with her, someone she constantly butt heads with, someone who played into as someone who she played into a lot of things that I now, you know, am like, I don't know if I want to say traumatized. It doesn't feel right, but like the things that V did to me was also influenced with Coda. They both contributed to my harassment. They both contributed to hurting me in ways that I have not even fully healed from. The reason most of my videos wound up being an hour at minimum wound up because of how V treated me in regards to like forgetting to cover this or that. Coda also partook in that though.
How old was
And I don't think
when she participated?
Coda, yes, they were they were teenagers. Both of them were teenagers. But that doesn't change how much it hurts.
I understand that. And you know, if this is
At what point do we acknowledge that they were kids? At what point do we acknowledge that V was also a teenager?
how old was V?
I don't remember offhand, but I know that they were around the same age as Joni when.
Yeah, because this does actually go into a dangerous set of logic if we do follow this, right? Which it's crazy that I would even agree with like the flaw of the logic of Chuli, in my opinion, with like Doodletones at this point. But if we cannot like determine, right, if we cannot judge, you know, a person's actions based on like who knows, they might have been like too affected by their abuser, right? So for this case, right, let's say let's say Neko Koda, just to use their example, if we cannot determine how much V has affected Neko, isn't it possible that they could just use anything like anytime they get in a controversy? Isn't it now possible, like if we can't question them at all, right? If we can't like hold them to a standard anymore, what stops them from just going, oh, sorry, I'm like this, V made me this way. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm like this, V made me this way. Over and over again, right? For every controversy they get into. Are we just not allowed to hold them accountable? Because it's like, oh, I understand. Like, this was really messed up. Like, what happened to you? Right? It's like, to an extent, right? You would still have to hold people accountable for bad actions, but you could probably be a little bit different with how you go about it, obviously. But it's like, it gets to a point. It definitely gets to a point where it's like, okay, we got to cut it off here. Because it's like, I understand what happened to you, but that doesn't make what you did okay. Like, that line of logic would be better to hold rather than this person was hurt. We can't judge them at all for like what they did, even if they do bad things. It's just really like dead. I think you could examine it, just not publish it to the public. I mean, yeah, I get that to an extent. The only like argument I was making for like public stuff, it's like if they like slander someone, because it's like if they do something that could damage someone's like real life publicly, right? I think it's only fair to like respond to that publicly. I don't care how old the person is. Like, they're doing something that's life damaging to someone. It's like, that's obviously a big issue that would need to be discussed. And it's like that, if it doesn't get handled publicly, then it's just going to leave a taint in that person's life. And it's like, again, you could be a lot more mature with how you go about it, for sure. But like, just like I said, just what I feel like I'm just saying the same things earlier. I don't really like the idea of just ignore everything this person does and just kind of sidestep away from it and just let things happen. It's just, I don't like that logic. But yeah. Also, hold up. I totally forgot that. I'm sorry, guys. I am very, very sorry. I'm very sorry. God, someone, you guys donated to me. Hold on. Let me try to get to the bottom of who it was. Okay, my apologies. Let me try to take a look. It was happening during the debate, and I didn't want to I didn't want to be like awkward with it. Like, it just like stop like in the middle of it and just like, engage in what you guys were saying, because it's like, I didn't want to like interrupt. Oh, they're both from Potato. Thank you for the 5. Cash, the only reason you have 3.9 GPA is because of No Child Left Behind. Okay, dude. Okay, that's evil. Cash, it's embarrassing sharing spaces. You're just shitting on Cash, bro. That's evil. Bro. God, that's diabolical. But yeah, anyways. Thank you for the donations, Potato. Yeah, you can give a certain amount of grace to teenagers, but at some point they can go too far. Yeah, that's pretty much like where I'm just going with it. I don't think you should just blanket statement with it, just because like people are capable of doing fucked up things no matter how old, and it's like that could damage another person, and just to ignore it, then that's dumb. So, yeah, that's kind of just where I stand with that. But I feel like they might harp over it for another 20 minutes, and I don't want to loop it, so I'll just try to look for like other things to focus on.
Those two were having fun in chats.
Okay, I can't.
We're around the same age. Their age gap was like maybe 1 or 2.
Okay,
But V still clearly had, groomed Joni. At what point do we acknowledge that?
That V groomed Joni. Sorry, 1 second. I need to take care of something. Okay, I'm back. So I do want to say, there are behaviors like Kyle is saying, there are behaviors that are understandable as a child that are not understandable as an adult. I understand that a child can do harm as a child to adults. It is something that needs to be handled differently because that child does not really know what's going on. They have a very surface level grasping of the world and of their actions and of the people around them. I don't mean to baby someone beyond belief, but just looking back on my...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I am arguing purely on a principle point. I don't know if the Neko Koda video really needed to be 9 hours, okay? I do tend to forget that video was 9 hours. That's evil. But yeah, there probably could have been other things that Doodletones definitely, after seeing some of the content that they make, there's so much things that they include that's just not even worth talking about and just irrelevant stuff. They could 100% condense their videos. Like 100, like definitely from like what I've seen from like even Cloak and Dagger. They could have honestly had, like, realistically, I don't even think they really need the second video that much. Doesn't really provide anything new to the table. Like, a majority of that second video wasn't even necessary. But Doodletones did it anyways, so that's whatever.
my own years, being young in this community, being treated very horribly, picking up behaviors that were self-defense mechanisms for me, and directing them at people who didn't necessarily need those behaviors to be directed at, like my aggression. It needs to be handled with more tact and care than simply documenting it online for everyone to see.
Then we just don't talk about we just don't talk about anything that ever happens in anyone's teen years.
I don't think that we need to be publicizing that information for the whole of YouTube to see.
Cool. Then I guess I'm not doing that V video.
You can do a V video. There's a lot to talk about.
There was a lot of grooming.
Whoa, okay, yeah, no, this is a bit of a double standard, Chili. If we can't talk about, like, what a person did in their teen years, it's not, okay, it is possible, right? It is crazy enough, right? It is possible for 16-year-olds to be pedophiles, especially by the medical definition. In fact, that's where they say it starts to blossom, okay? Like, if a 16-year-old was to groom, like, an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old, right? Like, I mean, realistically, I think that should definitely be talked about. Like, if you're trying to have the standard, we shouldn't talk about minors at all, bro. Like, that would kind of, like, if we're going to the extreme with that standard, that would include that as well. It's like, and then, right, even better, to really on top of that, again, to elaborate on the point of, like, we can't really determine how much someone's been affected by someone, right? Assuming, because this is usually how it works, V Omega was probably groomed, right? Should we, like, just let it slide because, like, oh, I can't judge how much of their actions, are, like, really bad because, their abuser had a big play in it, and maybe they were just enabled by their abuser. And it's like, that's dumb. It sounds dumb when you put it in the extremes, but, like, sometimes you have to talk about it in the extremes to show, the holes in the point. It's like, obviously, I think V Omega should be talked about, obviously, right? And I don't think, like, I think it's, like, maybe from a point of understanding, if they were groomed, that would make sense why they are the way they are, but that obviously doesn't excuse anything. You would still have to hold them accountable, right? Like, obviously, that's what you would have to do. But, God. Tinfoil hat theory. I think Doodles is harping this hard because of how Neko personally affected them. Probably. I mean, they did just kind of, like, allude to, like, being really hurt before. Peaches was evil. Sorry, I don't know why I read it like that. Peaches was groomed. It was an evil person. Yeah. To be fair, it sounds like Chili was saying that there was plenty to talk about outside of that. Otherwise, I do agree on calling teens that groom little kids. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if Doodletones sat there, like, because I'm gonna be blunt, I haven't really watched the Neko Coda video. If Doodletones sat there and just talked about, like, a bunch of points that just didn't really matter at the grand scheme of things, yeah, what the fuck, why? What's the point of that? It's not productive. It doesn't help anybody. What's the point? But if they're talking about things where they're affecting and hurting other people, it's like, yeah, that needs to be talked about. It doesn't matter, like, if they're, like, in high school or not, they're still hurting other people. Like, that needs to be talked about. Like, I mean, or it needs to be addressed. Okay, like, that, we can't just, like, let that slide under the rug. Let's see. My cat was groomed. She was a mad turkey with fluffy books. Okay. You can't criticize me. I'm literally neurodivergent and a minor. Yep. Plus, Doodletones talked with Super Godzilla 12 and on April 24, Skype call deleted on April, I don't even know, threatening both Akubu and I as per a comment day by, I don't know too much about that. If there is anything, I would be interested to see that, but I haven't seen anything of that. I think the thing that puts me off on Doodle's argument that it isn't from your point, it is only for context, no other purpose. Yeah.
Oh, hold on though. A lot of that was when they were a teenager. A lot of that same grooming behavior was as far back as when they were a teenager. So when do we talk about that?
Teenagers.
Where's the line?
Oh my god. Before this goes into a horrible direction and it gets heated and horrifically off rails, we also need to recognize, Susie, you are talking to a victim of these. Please.
I understand that, but I'm asking where the line is.
Okay. Look. They already were talking about this. Alright? They literally already were talking about this because we're talking about Neko Coda being, like, abused or something like that, right? Whether it was groomed, and I think that they're compared to their rapist, right? That is what we were talking about, right? It's staying consistent within the line of logic. I mean, I don't know. That seems like a weird insert now when, like, that could have applied, like, like 30 minutes ago. It's odd, but whatever.
Yes, and you can ask it without screaming and without making sarcastic comments about videos on B. We both know you can do that. Nobody here.
Especially she mostly complaining about her fighting with them. Some good points here and there. Yeah. Later on, it revealed that V was 19. She didn't know the dude. Okay, that just mogs. That mogs Doodletones. That does mog Doodletones. That's why I stuck more with the principle of like if with 16. But dude, that absolutely does mog them from Dad. Fuck me.
What's with you? Take a minute. Breathe. Just calm down for just a minute. All right, then we'll pick it back up.
Sorry for getting as emotional as I am, but like.
Yap yap.
I don't mean to be shouting and stuff like that. Just been an emotional wreck lately.
I understand.
And of course, this was going to strike a nerve, considering how much Coda had done to me. And never.
Wait. Also, if we're talking about like they were a victim of this, right? It isn't like it common knowledge of these people that like apparently Doodletones was groomed. I haven't really seen it myself either, right? But like, I mean, okay. I mean, Doodletones would be a victim of that too if we're playing that game. I don't know. It's just such a weird point to just bring up randomly. Like if in the context of talking about grooming, right? It's like Doodletones always claim to be a victim of that. It's unless like that's not what Lio was talking about, Chili being a victim of, but seems a bit weird for like an insert there. I do agree like it is obviously getting heated and derailed and like going into like a mess and we need to like focus more on Doodletones and not semantics though. But yeah, it's just odd.
I never got an apology either. That's the fun part. I never got a genuine apology.
I know.
I guess that doesn't matter either.
No, it's not that it doesn't matter. There's a lot of people who, I mean, I think a lot of people here know, people have treated me monstrously who will never apologize. Not even Avi. Avi did not apologize for doing what he did to me. He apologized to Ellie, I believe. He doesn't care about what he did to me. V doesn't care about what he did to me. Fagos does not care what they did to me. Caden does not care what he did to me. I understand what it's like to be viciously hurt by someone when you could not defend yourself.
Okay. I think after that context, I think Lio was maybe talking about Chili being a victim of V. Okay, that would make a bit more sense, but still. Okay, yeah, no, okay, I get why it was said then and not like a little bit ago, I guess. Okay. Clarification.
In a way that is very vulnerable and violating. And know that you will never be able to get a closure from the person who did that to you.
It was my closure. That's the problem.
Then I don't believe that you were looking for closure in a healthy way.
Well, it's because I knew I was never going to get it from Coda. I knew I was never going to get an apology. Coda was never going to ever reflect on the things that she did to me.
Okay, if Doodletones is breaking down to tears, does anybody know what the fuck Neko Coda did to Doodletones? Like, I'm imagining, right? Like, normally I would think if someone's crying, it would have to be something really bad. But like, then again, I remember I'm in the art community, so it's like I really don't know. Like, what did Neko Coda do to Doodletones that making them quiver and go in sheer fright and crying? This is really bizarre. You would imagine it had to be something really, really bad. Let's see. I was saying that because in the moment, it may be mistaken that Doodletones was holding the notion of a video on Chili's groomer over her head. I see. Doodles could have gotten closure by closing the door. Lol, okay, buddy. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, what other way was there for me to get closure?
That's something for you to discuss with a therapist.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Sometimes what you need to look more for, rather than closure, is for acceptance. Acceptance of the past, rather than trying to resolve it in some way.
Yeah, no, honestly, if Doodletones is trying to look for closure on like a person online rather than just going to a therapist where like that's where you're meant to get help, I don't know. They're kind of acting like a lost cause right now, bro. Fuck me.
I don't understand where the line is drawn, though.
And that's something that can be more discussed in detail at another point. I don't think it's necessarily right now, especially with how you are feeling about this.
This conversation has started. We might as well actually have it.
Okay, but I do want to say just that if we do go forward, I do not. I would prefer to not be yelled at or to not have an attitude thrown my way when I'm trying to be
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be doing that to begin with. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The line, I believe if it's private interpersonal things, especially when someone was a child.
How are we still harping on this?
To be discussed at great.
How are we still on this, bro? It's been 30-something minutes, dog. How are we still on the same point? We have not moved on. Genuinely, we have not moved on, bro. We have not moved on. Fuck me.
Please mute. I do not believe that needs to be discussed in great detail.
Neko was fighting with Doodletones over shit with Neko. Doing Know You videos. They tried to talk with Lio, even getting involved. Neko would also shit talk in the SEC and Cloud Palace. That's it. I don't want to sound like a dick, but that's it? Just internet shit talk? Bro. Like, my god, dude. I forget how sensitive these people are sometimes, man. Fuck me. But yeah, I'll 1.5 it yet.
At lengths, publicly, for everyone to see. That is a very vulnerable time in someone's life that does not need to be documented. By someone who, I guess, is not professionally, like it's not a biography, is someone externally coming in and documenting, especially in a negative light, when there are a million things going on in someone's adolescence that inform their behavior and the adult that they become.
So should I also just private like the Sylveon videos too? Because he was 15 when I made those?
I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea.
Well, sure, whatever.
Please, I said please, no attitude.
I'm not, I'm just...
Okay, nitpicky here, bro. Like, what? Fuck me. Come on. No attitude. Just for a whatever, bro. Come on. Dead. Hey, Space, will this call be in multiple parts? This video is long. It at least I want to at least get over an hour at minimum, and maybe even like 2 hours into it. I do plan on like doing like, I only plan on maybe like trying to do 2 streams, 3 at max. I hope it doesn't have to be 3, but we'll see.
I'm not trying to put off an attitude. I'm sorry if I am.
Yeah, just I guess be more cognizant of what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm going to give my thoughts on this after a lot of looking into and hearing a lot of what people who have been in these spaces as children have done and seen and all that other stuff. If a child is causing trouble, harassing, stalking, whatever, unless they break certain boundaries, it's best to just shut them out. If you give word to your friends, letting them know, hey, this literal minor is being troublesome, that's fine. I don't think a video needs to be made on that, but if they breach something legal, or they become a genuine danger, that does need to be discussed publicly regardless of age, because kids can be just as unhinged as adults can be. We've seen that with people like Sylveon, all right? When it comes to bad behavior childhood rolling into adulthood, I think that a note about the childhood issue is good, but I do not think that it needs to be detailed band for band. I don't think that's necessary. I think you can give all the context you need without going into what they did every single year as a child.
Let's see. A-Space, fun fact about this. Doodle even said that in the video that the kid Doodle even said that in the video the kid was being groomed and seemingly only mad at the guy for agreeing with the kid. Interesting. Well, it's a lion, man. Gulp.
I agree.
As far as people like V Omega go, I know that V harassed you. I know they were cruel. I know they were unrelenting. I get that, and there's definitely trauma there you can talk about. But V's behavior in being a vocal dickhead did not have anything to do with his predatory behavior. So, if talking about V, yes, make a note about how he behaved when he was under 18 in terms of him being an absolute dickhead. Make a note. We don't have to go into detail about it because, frankly, again, the problem I've had in both FCC and ACC spaces when it comes to talking about actual horrible actions, it always gets front-loaded with the dumbest of things. I don't need to know if somebody who tried to diddle a kid is an art thief. It's like I don't. It's important, yes, especially considering it harms you, to point out that he's a dickhead, but the needs to be on the actual crimes he has committed and the people he did even worse things to. Yes, take a minute and talk about how he affected you, absolutely. But when you are detailing V's behavior, there are lines that are crossed, even if they're a kid. That's a bit different than what Neko Koda did, by a large margin, in my personal opinion.
Sure.
Does any of that make sense? Does it make sense, or are you just agreeing because you're worried you're going to get busted?
I agree.
Okay. Again, nobody here hates you. Nobody here wants to dog you. We're talking about it because this conversation needs to happen, and frankly, well, talking about it via your video is kind of helpful in that sense. I do know it probably feels like people are invalidating what you went through, but that's not what people here are doing. Okay? It'll be okay. Now,
too nice.
I don't see an issue if you were to take another swing in the future at a Neko Koda video, essentially a recall on it. However, right now, best to just not touch it and to let it sit. Okay? Now, I'll be right back. You gotta call a customer. I really hope this call hasn't just been quiet the entire time I was gone, because if I'm the main person talking in here, I'm actually gonna become unhinged. Like, no, I'm actually being serious here. It's nothing to laugh about. I shouldn't always be the person steering the conversation back to sensibility. And I'm kind of tired of always having to be the one to do that.
It's more so, Lyle, that I just had the conversation, and I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like there's much else I need to say.
Well, you have to forgive me. I'm used to, if I step away, everybody just shuts down until I come back.
No, it's okay. I started the conversation. I had it. You helped with a few areas, but I think it's mostly done. At least on my end.
Yeah, I didn't really think of anything else to add either. That's why I didn't say anything. So I'm like, but I didn't want to like be too quick to talk about something else.
Yeah,
because I didn't.
I was waiting
because that's heavy shit, and you don't want to just like discard that.
Yeah, I did it
immediately, especially if like there might be more somebody else has to say. So I'm like, okay, when people be quiet, okay, let me just. Now it's appropriate to lighten the mood.
I did see Donnie, and I believe your name is Marwan Kirby Star. But I saw those two on mute, so I figured, okay, maybe they'll have something to say. I don't have anything to say. Sounded like Donnie was trying to say something, but didn't really muster the words.
Donnie, your mic is still on.
I noticed. My audio's funky with that. Essentially, I was trying to figure out the words, but then I somehow lost them as soon as I'm actually able to speak out loud.
Yikes.
All right. While you're trying to gather the words, Susie did mention Sylveon. Do we want to touch on that or no?
We already did.
Okay.
If everyone
Wait,
is,
private videos on Sylveon too.
I don't know these full history. I was pretty young when I was introduced to him, and it didn't take long for him to get his hands on me. So I don't know his full history. Most of my thoughts when it comes to him has to do with what he did to me when I was underage. I believe that V was 19 in 2018. He's probably from 1999 or 1998.
As when I met V, at the very least, I can confirm he was at least 18. And I met him in like spring 2018.
Yeah, he was 19. In March, I actually have his birthday written down. He was born March 26, 1999. He's a little older than Avi.
I mean, he was 19.
He was, I believe, he might have been 18 when I met him. When he got his hands on me, he was 19.
Oh, okay.
He joined the CC in like November 2017, so that means he was.
No. It was a little bit earlier.
Oh.
I have Skype DMs between he and I. I date back to like maybe very late 2016. Yeah.
So V would have been 6 months. When he started.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know how old he exactly was. I just knew that he was young and he was doing all of the stuff to Joni. Not to say that makes it right, which is kind of what my point was, but
he was an adult when he was doing this stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah. If you want, I can send his birthday to you so that you don't forget it.
I just... There's just nothing to
if
say.
You want it, just hit me up.
That call is why Susie hid all but one of her videos. A severe overreaction. However, the call on the 18th I'm about to play is where the downward spiral happens. This is where Susie is
Okay.
confronted about defending George, aka Horace. I don't think I need to go into heavy detail as the calls tend to speak for themselves, so please pay attention.
Okay, so wait. There's no way the second call is like 4 hours, right? How many calls did Lio have? Like, genuinely. I don't know, but we'll see.
Okay. All right, we're good for going.
Susie, did you know that George, or Horace, whatever the fuck their name is, did you know that Horace had drawn a minor partaking in what they had explicitly stated turned them on?
I don't remember if that was in the doc or not, but it might have been. Probably.
Just so we can make sure we have everything clear, do we have a copy of Susie's video that can be pulled up right now for reference?
Yeah, there's a couple of links to it in the thread.
Okay, somebody needs to pull it up so we can live stream and take a look at what this is instead of guessing and maybeing things, because that's going to piss off everybody.
Right.
All right, because that video goes over Leo's doc. I haven't had time to to look at that video in full. I've been spending time with family, but this is kind of insanely upsetting to
Dude,
me.
Lio
and
just
I,
got mogged.
I
bro.
want to know if that was in the original doc.
It probably was.
Because I
So,
know that Seth, because I know that Seth and mentioned that he did the same thing to Autumn when she was 16.
Can somebody please grab the
4
video,
calls?
start streaming it? I
Well,
can't.
we got through one of them.
I am on my way. I'm on my way. People, I'm working on it.
Do we have a copy of the doc that Susie was working off of when she made this video?
I can probably find it.
Did you maybe link it in the description?
I think I did.
Then you should be able to go to your video in the description and find it.
On my copy. It's
All right, put it in the chat so somebody can look over it while we go through your video.
yeah.
Now, I don't know how much I'll be able to input because I'm working on stuff right now and it's like almost 10 o'clock at night, but I'll still be here, okay?
Yeah, okay. I mean, there's no way, like, okay, so that makes a lot more sense by the first call. So wait. No, wait, that means the first call really only had 1 point? Okay. I personally do things a bit, like, differently. I wouldn't even want to confront someone unless I had, like, multiple questions. But, I mean, I guess it... Because the only reason why, like, it wasn't really, like, multiple points about Neko Coda. It kind of just was almost the same point, but, like, just kind of harping over, like, the same point over and over again. And, like, it didn't really go anywhere. Like, I don't even think Doodletones' mind was really changed. I think they just privated the video just so the conversation would end. Like, in my honest opinion, I don't think Doodletones really changed their mind or, like, had their, like, you know, the worldview, like, their perspective, like, you know, altered. I think, honestly, they just still feel the same. But this one, I think, is going to be a lot more interesting because that would mean, like, if we're getting to the George Raccoon stuff, this is the one where Doodletones defended George Raccoon. This one I'm actually really encouraged. Really, you know, really looking forward to seeing. So.
No, I remember this was a video that I did not want to mess up. I even ran it by Ponder.
All right, Julie, let us know when you're in so we can
Autumn, you're in this one. Hi.
start.
So if I watch this up this badly, then
Susie, stop. Okay, I want to make something clear real quick. Preemptive stuff like that isn't helping. Just let's go through the data and see what actually has happened before you trip over yourself, okay? Forward.
it is in the doc, by the way.
Pause.
I looked back over the doc. It does say that says then one day he just hit me up and told me he made a drawing without my knowledge or permission. He had drawn my OC Lio acting out the Del Code chip trick. This image has been lost due to George removing his accounts, but I have screenshots of him admitting to it.
And okay.
Okay, yeah, I heard about that with the whole running it by Ponder thing. Okay. To my understanding with that, I think she sent something to Ponder. Like, to my recollection of events, right? Because she claimed to run it through a Ponder, and I'm pretty sure there was DM evidence of her going to Ponder, but I don't think Ponder ever gave anything back. To my understanding, I think Ponder just had, like, you know, a busy real life or whatever, just was sent something, and it's just like, oh, whatever, maybe I'll check it out, maybe I won't, and just never got around to it. So it's like, saying it was run by Ponder is just kind of, like, not really truthful. I mean, there's just nothing there that just would suggest that Ponder okayed it but apparently Susie did go to Ponder, from my understanding. So interesting, but because I don't even like. Yeah, there's no way Ponder would okay this, dude. I'm gonna be so real. There's just no way. But yeah, just explain the later call. Yeah.
So, having watched the end of this video, the takeaway from hearing that a grown adult, mid-20s, drew a picture of a child partaking in an act that he specifically got sexual pleasure from, the takeaway was to say, well, he couldn't have known that was inappropriate because the child did not set the boundary.
Yikes.
Weren't like that, yeah. Fuck up.
Why the fuck was this person allowed to come back?
I've spoken to Ponder. Ponder never saw the video nor the script. They were sent it but never saw it or gave advice. But Ponder did critique Susie's 2019 stream on George. Yeah, okay. I wasn't too sure about that stream part, but yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that was my understanding. Why do they talk like lawyers? Lol. Because we got to get to the bottom of this, okay? I remember listening to this while I was cleaning Lamau. Yikes, it's over. But yeah, fuck. Here we go. Let's hear Doodletones say why they were gonna why they wanted George Raccoon back. Here we go.
I made the case for them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fucking bad. I'm fucking mad at you because guess what? Yeah, I never told the Omega that I was uncomfortable. And I never told Avi that I was uncomfortable either. And I never told Rachel that I was uncomfortable. All three of them knew that what they were doing to me was inappropriate. Now, yes, V Omega and Rachel talked about very sexually explicit things, but they all told me about things that sexually excited them, which George did as well. And also, I want to point out, because it was mentioned that it didn't look like grooming because the things that turned him on were mentioned casually. That's a big thing that Avi did too. He mentioned things casually, and he even made a joke out of his fucking kink, because that is a way of desensitizing that kind of thing to a minor. If you make it more digestible, that makes it easier for you to push it on them, which George absolutely was doing by talking to a child extensively about things that he knew he was getting sexual pleasure from, and then drew that minor doing after 2 years after when he did that to another minor. And I can't fucking believe that this is the person you guys, and you specifically, Susie, wanted to make a case for to bring him back into a community that has children in it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, but Doodletones, I want you to
Victim's
explain.
still around.
I want you to explain the thoughts.
I was one of the people he drew art of, and Saf is also here.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry.
I know it's still around, but he's not in this. How did you two feel about this video?
I let Saf speak on that. I'll let Saf speak on that because I don't remember on my behalf.
Okay, am I hearable really quick before I say anything?
Yes, you can be heard.
Okay, so when the video came out, I remember very specifically, so I know I was a talking point in regards to the video, in regards to how the situation was handled, given mine and more specifically Vivian, Maiden Vivian / Channel Gray's involvement. And for context on that, it is worth noting I am another victim of Vivian in particular, and I was 19 around this time. And so the reason I had reached out to Lio, and the reason this whole thing began is because I heard that Horace was doing all this, and particularly Horace had drawn that same magic trick of me and Autumn back when we were 16 in a committed monogamous relationship. Well, we were 16 and Horace was 20, and so I wanted to warn Lio, like, hey, this is not okay. You should tell him to stop. And so he did, and then everything derailed, and I will always admit that the situation was mishandled.
Update, I remember now. I hated Susie's video on so much, Lamau. Yeah? Fuck, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to me that even got, like... It's crazy to me that Doodletones thought that video was a good idea. Considering, like, I would imagine they called out other grooming cases. I wasn't really much of a Doodletones watcher. But I would imagine that they would call out other, like, grooming cases. So I'm just kind of surprised that they fumbled this one. Interesting.
In the way that we acted online in the aftermath. But when the video was released, I did make a case in the comments. I don't know if the comments are archived, and if they are, I would like to know, because I did make a case for myself, talking mainly about how I was basically being spearheaded by Vivian in Vivian's vendetta against Horace, and that I was in my own case a victim of both Horace and Vivian. And in response to that comment, all I got was a bunch of clown emojis and clowning comments in my direction from people like Avi and others within the community. Because again, like, and it's worth noting for me. It's worth noting for me. Lio and I have always been close. We are especially close now, and I won't speak entirely for him. That's not my place. It's not my place at all, but he is still, to this day, extremely traumatized by this. It did chase him off the internet for a long time. He was only in private spaces. He did not go on Twitter, not on YouTube, not on anything, any public forum where he could be found, particularly by people within the SCC.
And Lio is
Lio is it was the one who had come out about, who came with a document in 2018 or 2019 about Horace.
Okay, it's Horace is the abuser. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Horace/George is the name of the person.
Thank you. Is George still around?
Yes.
They just joined the courthouse just now because of an anxiety flare-up.
Love that. Love a public execution. Don't you, Julie? I love this.
Well, we kicked him out for the time being, but we can bring him back in. I don't know when, because I'm honestly still processing all of this again.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Wait, just because, like, I don't
Are they
want to
confront George?
like you're taken. If you are going to talk to Horace, don't do it here because there are children in the setup.
Yes.
Susie,
Yeah.
did you talk to Lio or Saf?
Probably not.
By that point, neither really wanted anything to do with me. I think I was blocked from both of them. Memory's a bit hazy on that, though.
I can confirm. The reason that Lio and I had you blocked at the time is because when Vivian had posted the document about George, and all the inside aftermath of everyone acting the way they did, you did make some tweets bringing the allegations into question.
Yeah, and then I got promptly skewered for it at the time.
Yes.
I remember that.
Not promptly enough, in my opinion, because what the fuck was that video?
And it
You
was
didn't-
something I
What in the world made you decide to defend this dude? That's just bizarre.
genuinely didn't see it as grooming. I mean, I
What do you
understand
think
that.
grooming? What do you think grooming was at the time?
Well, as Ephraim said, I thought it was more of like a targeted and more directly, like
Okay.
explicitly try.
If you are specifically drawing people individually in the fetish content that you consume, and those people are children, that doesn't read as targeted to you.
Didn't at the time.
Okay.
If you haven't yet, Julie, I'm gonna ask you to check the ends real quick.
Okay.
But like, you see, it literally, you could make a targeted argument already with the NSFW thing, because George Raccoon was going around, and the only way that people would be added to his NSFW Twitter account is if he followed them. That means George Raccoon was going out of their way to look for minors to add to their 18+ account. Like, that is just, like, there is a case of targeting here. Like, even the very beginning of your video, you can make that claim. So, like, this is just really bizarre.
I guess my
yeah,
only question.
Yeah, we do. We do need to do that. Did you look at your comments?
Since the video, yeah. It.
Did you see Saf getting dogged on?
Maybe at one point.
Okay, I'm so done. You released a video, essentially covering for targeted sexual behavior at children, and then allowed one of the victims of that behavior to be publicly lambasted in your comment section. I am so angry with you right now.
And I want to at the time I genuinely
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't want to be mad at Susie. It's still hard for me to be. I know at the time when this video came out, I was still around Rachel. I was still in that situation. I can understand, yeah, people didn't want to hear from me. But at the same time, they knew it was common knowledge at this point that I had experienced that behavior from George, but also this was post me coming out about Vivian the first time, because remember, I've come out about her twice.
Yeah, we both did. We both came out about Vivian at that same time. We came out about Vivian in 2020.
Yeah, and then I came out again in December of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So we have someone. Okay, this is just another example of the community treating victims like they're not fucking people.
Yep.
Because someone came out about being drawn sexually It doesn't matter if it's sexually in the generic sense. It was drawn in a way that got the fucking person who drew it off. And that person was dogged on, despite having also come forward about the other person and saying that they were spearheaded by the other person who victimized them. And we as in the community at the time, because I never actually watched this stuff happen. I just heard of it, of course, by Avi, who said that it wasn't bad because he was doing the same thing to me.
Well, this is that guy.
Yes, this is the situation that Avi used to say this can't be bad because it's what I'm doing to you.
What?
Fucking Christ.
The fuck? You see, my child grooming is not bad because it's just like that other child grooming. Like the fuck, lol. What the? What? how's that defense, bro? Like the hell? What the hell? Fuck me, man. God. Okay. So Doodletones doesn't really have much of it like responses here other than just sorry, which I'm kind of hoping that they say more than that, but we'll see.
I do want to have this known, real quick. I mentioned this in courthouse earlier, but I mentioned that I denounced calling George a groomer, and I apologized for him for saying that. But I'm realizing now this, because I did speak a little bit with staff before I joined this call. I'm definitely thinking this is definitely an overcorrection on my end, because I think that's just the habit I've grown to have when I rejoined the community. I know that I wronged people. I tried to right those wrongs, but I didn't recognize that I was still hurt.
Same.
I'm sorry, guys.
Keep in mind that Saf was Gwen and said person was villainized in Susie's video. Saf was Gwen? I guess that detail, if that was said earlier, then my fault, but dude, so that means Doodletones is literally in a call with someone that they villainized. Lol? The fuck? That did. I want them to say more than I'm sorry, though. Okay, I'm really wanting them to.
This has happened so many times.
Susie, I'm going to ask you right now to be quiet.
Alright.
Because I'm not exactly happy right now either. The best thing you can do right now is be quiet. Let's discuss this. You've screwed up. We know what you've done. A billion apologies aren't going to change it. Please be quiet right now.
This has happened too many times, where victims are treated like shit, made to feel guilty for the things that the people who have abused them have gone through, felt the need to overcorrect and in fact dismiss their previous claims or dismiss claims made about sexual fucking degeneracy, to put it in the way I fucking want to right now. Because this exact thing happened to me. I came out and everyone immediately looked at, oh, Chuli's doing, but Chuli was doing this. Chuli, despite being a 16-year-old, Chuli did this and this and this to Fagos. So actually, I think Fagos is the victim here. And then tried to push that narrative against me publicly. And this is so fucking sinister. Why is every victim that comes forward in this God-forsaken community made to feel like they are the problem?
Because this community has had a bad habit of taking negative emotions and saying, well, we don't want that, so you're bad for saying things about things that make us uncomfortable.
And
I simply cannot accept the thing of, I didn't think this was targeted behavior. I cannot accept that, because if I did, I would be accepting irresponsible actions to a pretty, I would consider, unforgivable degree.
Yikes.
And I'm even more infuriated. I'm so sorry, Saf, that I keep talking.
Oh, you're okay.
I am even more infuriated that to this day, victims, children who had kink art drawn of them, to this day have been made to feel like they shouldn't be mad about that. I'm furious. I am, because I've sat on this and I've known of the situation, like I said, for years, and everyone always told me, oh, George got done wrong. George got done dirty. It wasn't like how it was painted. And now I'm hearing that it is exactly how it was painted, and the people who dealt with it were made to essentially apologize on behalf of other victims' actions. I am angry to a degree I cannot begin to describe right now.
Yeah. And what really bothers me here is was a screw up by, honestly, anybody other than Susie, maybe an argument with Susie. You spent time in fetish groups because you were fascinated by the concept. How did you not know better?
Admittedly, George's kink is quite weird, and I didn't think it was very, because it's not, like, if he didn't call it a kink, it would be entirely harmless. And as I've talked to you about in the past, Lio, I have a very weird perspective on fetishes, or like on fetishes and kinks in general. I don't think they necessarily have to be sexual. We've had this conversation before.
We have, but he's made it pretty clear it was. Based on just a little bit I know. Well, I gotta listen to something.
I was gonna say, Susie, as much as it is, like,
Okay.
yeah, it's all by all accounts not a
And what do you mean that kinks can exist without being sexual?
typical kink.
No, how does that even... How would that even be a thing? Like, isn't the whole point of kink to be, like, a weird, like, sexual pleasure? Like, what do you mean that there could be kinks that don't have, like, you know, any sexual undertones or anything like that? That just... The fuck? I have no idea. I have no idea what they're even on about here. That's so bizarre. But I digress. Here we go.
Take out all of the type of discussion he had, and you could apply that exact same sentiment to Avi. Because by all accounts, that's not a quote-unquote typical kink. It's just the way, it's how you go about it that matters.
I didn't know what we know of Bobby now.
Well, yeah, I know that. What I'm saying is, like, when you connect the dots of these two situations, it becomes clear it was a lot of just... it just becomes clear a lot was wrong.
I understand that now. At the time, I didn't.
I guess my only question I really have, Susie, and I'm not saying this to be mad. I can't really find it in me to be mad at you. As far as we know, there are 3 people in particular that Horace had done this art with, and all 3 of them at the time of the art being done were 16. It was me, Autumn, and Lio. Was there not a correlation there?
On my mind, no, but when laid out like that, yeah, I see it now.
I don't think I can talk to you right now, Susie. I'm so unbelievably angry with you. And I'm angry at every other adult that saw that and thought it was okay. And I'm angry that no one until now decided to look back at it again. And it makes me feel fucking sick that this guy drew fan art for me just a couple days ago, knowing that Avi used what he did to Lio and to Autumn and to Saf to justify what he was doing to me.
God.
Sorry. Can I'm looking at what Hidden's asking in chat.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
How...
I said that Hidden could speak. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hidden, if you're...
Hi, if I may.
No.
Because I'm
Hold
more...
on. Let Hidden speak first. They've been waiting.
There's a few things we need to address, because I asked a few questions that I think are important for clarification. Because one, apparently Horace has been in the sphere here from 2010 to 2019, and then there was break until 2021, and they've been here to the present day. And that means he was allowed to come back after the situation happened, and everyone who knew this person just accepted that they were here now. And now I have to ask, how many of you who are currently here knew what happened and decided it was a non-issue? Because I will not let you sit here and get out with this performative anger at what Susie did when some of y'all had this person in your community and did nothing. So I need to know how many of you knew actually what happened, what he was accused of, and decided it was a non-issue.
Okay, hold on. I want to ask, because backing off of what Hidden said, how many of y'all didn't ever read either Leo's doc or Horace's doc, and yet just watched Susie's video and took everything at face value? Who just... Because, again, like, between Leo's story basically being thrown to the side, and then also mine and Autumn's, and, like, me and Autumn were basically made to, like, be like, okay, well, what happened wasn't all as bad as we thought. Were there people who just knew about what happened, but didn't ever actually look into it, and just said, okay, George being here is okay?
Yes, thank you. That was my next point, where it was like, this video came out in 2021. So it's been a hot minute. So now I have to ask how many of you saw this video and decided not to look into the allegations and just take Susie at face value. So
Stardust is one of them.
Fantastic. So we don't get into, like, the explanation where you guys all try to excuse yourselves. If you knew, I need you to put that in the chat. Just say, I knew, and I ignored it. I don't want excuses, I don't want explanation, I just want I knew, or you don't say anything, because that's kind of important.
Okay, we have a few people who watched the video but did not look into it. From the sounds of it, the people who watched the video but did not look further into things was Donnie, Stardust, Zenny, and Mr. A.
Donnie also mentioned in chat earlier that he was also spoken to sexually for George when he was on minor.
Actually, what I was going to try and speak on, just because I
Oh
asked.
my god! I'm not angry at you, Donnie. Sorry, that anger was not directed at you.
Okay, so from what I can see in the side chat, most people seem to have seen the video, but then didn't look into the situation. Why? Like, oh my fucking god, why? Y'all saw a video where somebody was accused of, you know, grooming shit with the screenshots, mind you, that your eyes could have read. Like, I'm just putting that out there. Your eyes could have read the screenshots on screen.
Yeah.
And you decided, instead of using my brain, I'm just going to believe Susie and be like, oh yeah, sure, this is...
Susie was that respected. Susie was the pillar of SCC. I don't think like many of these people would actually defend like a child groomer. I just think they respected and trusted Susie because she just had that much, you know, stag power in the community. So.
Oh, fantastic! Please
I'll tell you why. It's the same problem they've been having for years now, and it's part of the overarching issue. They always put the heaviest things on a single person and go literally what they do. They did it to Susie, they've done it to Ponder, and then they did it to me. This is what they do. Because it's an unpleasant thing to deal with. So they wait till the biggest voice in the room talks about it and just literally go with that instead of looking into it. And look, to a point, part of that I could understand if we were talking about, oh, I don't know, I'll keep using the same example I always do, freaking Pokemon. If somebody has a take on Pokemon, you just listen to them because, well, they're the big voice and I don't really care. That's one thing. This is pretty egregious, guys. And I'm on my medication and I'm still pretty doggone pissed. I'm just not showing it as much as Julie is.
Also, I think what this comes down to is, it's something I talked to Julie about before, does it only matter if the victim of a situation is a quote-unquote perfect victim? Because do you guys just not care otherwise? Because unrelated, where were a lot of people when I was being dogged on for the comment I made in Susie's video? Where were a lot of the people that were congratulating Horace into getting back to the community? Where were they when I came out about Vivian? Was it because I wasn't a perfect victim? Oh, sorry, I was around Rachel. I'm not a perfect victim. I know this. The perfect victim doesn't exist, guys.
I'm asking
give you the
right
right
now,
to ignore and dog on y'all.
because Cal just asked. I remember vaguely hearing this last year when Lio passed me the call. In the call where Liv was confronted, which one of you stepped up to defend Horace? Which of you did that? If you're in this call, you better fucking unmute and say that that was you.
What if they like?
Don't know that person isn't here right now.
What if like low key like one of the like someone's like playing the spy, right? And it's like and they just like they knew but they don't say anything. And it's like, well, I don't want to be ridiculed. Anyways, stays muted. Like, bro. Are they trying to accuse the audience of ignoring the situation? Oh, there's a lot of people in the okay. For context, right? They're not accusing the audience, right? There is a lot of people in this call and in this server. Essentially, this server has pretty much the entirety like of the SCC in it, if you will, and its creators. Like pretty much a big chunk of the SCC, if you will. Some art commentators kind of like, you know, like kind of tap into there, but mainly SCC filled, right? So essentially, they're asking the people within the SCC community if they just, you know, ignore this or no. All right. Yeah, no worries, no worries.
I'm not sure.
Fine. I'm going to go on my doggone PC, and I'm going to look up the name Horace in that call. And if that person is in this call, I'm going to become unglued. So if you ask the person in that call, with having the rattling knees right now, I better find it that you find some strength here.
This is a lot for me to process.
Also, hidden to answer
I
your
might have
question.
been a part of that.
You were also talked to sexually at the time, Donnie.
You were victimized by Horace. You're not included in this.
But I still apologize to him.
I also apologize.
You were manipulated.
Donnie.
You guys were fucking gaslit by this stupid ass community into apologizing to someone who was inappropriate with you as a child. And I'm gonna get emotional because I fucking hate that this happens so many times. And you know what, Susie, you're already gone off of line. It needs to stay that way.
Okay. I understand.
And I want to answer Hayden's question. I wouldn't say more specifically congratulate. It's the fact that when
Some of y'all were adults. Some of y'all, as adults, watched that video and said, well, I can see this person being sexual with a minor. Admittedly so. But Susie said it's not grooming, so we should let them back in. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like disrespectfully, frankly, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And the biggest thing about that is something I've always had an issue with, even after, you know, I apologized to Horace, is when this all happened, who here actually thought to think about how Lio felt about everything? We all just slapped these labels onto Lio of, oh, he was actually being groomed by Vivian, without confirming it with him, and then just rolling along with it without even considering how he feels about his situation being brought back to light. Without his knowledge, he didn't know about any of this until Susie made her video. Lio was basically, like, he ran off of Twitter because he was so afraid of having to go through all of this again.
One moment. Sorry. Julie, I need you to fact check me.
Okay.
That's just my only question. Is who here genuinely thought about Lio?
Okay, is Lio, is that the only person that listening to the call you can hear is defending?
That's the one person who asked if Domer still believed that this individual was the groomer.
Oh,
okay.
you're talking about me.
All right.
I assume you're talking about me.
The rest of the transcript, and that seems to be the only person. Yes.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
And that's why I think DM, because I'm not about to yell at you for it and stuff.
Yeah, no, we're not. I'm not mad at you for that in the slightest. I tomorrow I'm going to get home, and I'm going to double check, and I'm gonna comb through. Is that call? And yeah, I'm gonna check to make sure that no one else was.
Please do. I'll probably listen to it myself since work and all that. I'm sure Julie and I will have a greater in-depth discussion about what he's done.
The Shomer call. I don't really know what happened in that call.
Who were essentially told to sit down and shut up over this. Obviously, I'm not angry with you guys, so be aware of that. You're not gonna have me in my.
To be honest, though, even if people in the server knew, I think it's just gonna break down to, personally, how I feel it's gonna break down to is they were spineless or lazy or anything like that, or didn't really feel like doing the research. If people knew, I very seriously doubt that they all looked at a child groomer and said, "Yes, let's let them groom kids." Like that's way too comically evil. Okay, I think unironically, it's just a spineless activity, which you could still make an argument that it still puts minors at risk. That's fair, right? Because there's minors in the server, you're willing to let a child groomer in there. I'm gonna either guess that they didn't really know that much, they just went off a Doodletones video and that was it, just because they're a respected pillar of the community, or if they did know, they were too scared to say anything against, Doodletones because they're a respected member of the community. I think that's really just what it's gonna realistically break down to, in my opinion.
A DM story might not have me in your DM yelling at you, but I am disheartened. I am very upset. And I, at this point, think this community needs to essentially have an anonymous Dropbox where we figure out the damage that's been done here, because it is pretty doggone egregious, and I'm kind of sick of it, frankly, because this isn't the first, second, or third time this has happened. But right now, I think it's more beneficial for the community as a whole, right now, to, if Julie feels otherwise, I'm sure she will tell me, and that is fine. I think right now, this specific aspect of the conversation needs to be tabled, because we kind of have a monster that needs to be dealt with right now.
I agree.
Same.
And it will give people time to process their feelings, because 6 years of being quiet about it.
What the fuck? Shomer was trauma dumping to children, including myself, and had sexual talks with children. He believed the Horus allegations. I told Shomer myself to denounce those allegations. The fuck? The worst part is that at this point, it wouldn't be surprised since people like Heaton and Peaches. Knowing people like Heaton and Peaches. Yeah. But also, what the fuck? I might have to look into Shomer unless that's going to be brought up in this video. Shomer seems like that's interesting. I had no prior context of that. Interesting.
I'm sure is not helpful.
Just yeah, this has taken. God.
It's something I've thought about for a bit, but obviously, like, given how everyone discussed Horus, I basically just kept it in the back of my head, basically.
This shouldn't have shaken me up so much. It's shaken
No,
me up.
it should have. It definitely should have.
Being shaken up for this.
Autumn, listen to me. We talked about this earlier. You talked about how you have the patience of a fucking saint. You need to let yourself feel these things out, though.
I'm so sad.
It's a mix of it's opening that old wound, but given our circumstances at the time, I know it's opening a lot of other ones too. So you know if anyone's gonna talk to you about it, it's me.
All right, here's the thing also that I want to get back to before we forget about it. I believe if you unlist a privated video, the comments do reappear. Susie, I need you to unlist that video, and either you or whoever wants to that was directly affected, be it Saf or Autumn or me, whoever, is going to go and find the comment where she was dogged on.
Of course, I can look for it if you have the link.
I can do that. It's that I can do it.
I can't even describe what I'm feeling right now.
You've basically been taught not to for 6 years.
I'm more so just upset for Autumn and Lio right now. Listen, I've had my time to think about this all on my own because that's basically all I could do. I just feel for these two right now. And listen, I'm gonna have to talk to Lio about this, and that sucks.
That's gonna be so hard. So sorry.
Tell Leo that I'm okay to talk to him, and if Lio wants to be there as well, then...
Of course, I'll talk to our mutual friend, and we'll talk to him together. But
okay.
Just anyone in this call can tell you I'm extremely protective of Leo, so oh boy.
I can't even count on 2 hands how many kids have been victimized in this community when the community just treated them like shit. Why is that something I can't do?
And just real quick, for anybody who doesn't want to go through their own DMs and relive the situation, if you give me the exports and you want to trust me with this, I'll do it for you. Like, I'm not going to force you to go back through that. But if, you know, we're collecting shit, I'm offering myself to help. So I don't want people to, like, hurt themselves over this.
Oh, there's the DM, there's a message, that the comment that you left.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Sorry.
So
Oh my god.
the people who replied were Musha, under 2 accounts, Livy, Lorenzo, and a last person I do not recognize.
Lorenzo? Like, Jar's editor Lorenzo? Or like a different Lorenzo? And also, I'm not surprised about Livy. Okay, I'm really not fucking surprised about Livy. That person's a fucking bitch.
You let a child publicly participate in the dogging of a victim?
Because how old was Livy in 2021?
She had to be
Probably about
15. 16, yeah.
15 or 16.
She was Christ.
She had just turned 16. Yeah.
I do remember that.
Man, it's the same person that they let operate in the Chuli thread in Cloud Palace, so I'm not surprised.
Not even the Chuli thread, the fucking Phagos thread. Oh my.
Fuck me, man. Jar's editor, bro. So it was that one. Dude. Did Lorenzo ever even get talked to or something? I mean, I don't know if that would even happen, but yikes. Big fucking yikes moment.
I kind of consider those all one and the same, considering the behavior, and my apologies.
No, it's fine. Oh my god.
Why is everybody saying man?
It was
because they're dogging on me. They're basically going after me for explaining my involvement in the situation, and more so how I was in everything. Not only is grooming, but also I was being spearheaded by my groomer.
Those comments, it's a dismissal, is what it is. It's the same as saying I ain't reading on that, or oh sorry that happened to you, or I'm happy for you though. Yeah. It's a dismissal.
I want to call it just a dismissal, but you also have to have the context that this was 2021. This was when I was still around Rachel, and everyone knew I was still around Rachel, so I was basically being dogged for not just my involvement in the situation, but also the fact that I was still around Rachel. Given what happened to me to Rachel.
It is so crystal clear why you all treated me like shit when I came forward about being abused, because this was obviously your guys' MO.
This is a side note, but before I forget, I think this should stay within this room for now, because I don't want Horace to catch wind of this and start deleting shit, or anything of the
Horace
sort.
already has.
He already has deleted.
He's been
No,
Horace already out of servers.
They've already left this one.
I mean, fair enough, but I'm talking about like DM messages and everything, because I'm worried if people go out and tweet about this, he's just going to do more. And
well, okay, no, listen, like somehow Horace already was told about that we were talking about him in here, and he already messaged them. I don't know who told them.
All right,
because you guys fucked up so bad that Horace, to this day, was allowed to be in contact with one of the people he victimized, and he messaged Autumn, freaking out about everything and saying that his anxiety is flaring.
Okay, so who told him? Who told him?
It was Lunatic within the Cloud Lounge.
Why the fuck was he told?
He's in the server.
Yeah, it was in the server.
Wait, hold on. I'm reading the messages. Like, Lunatic's messages after Horace's thing about not hearing about it.
Yeah, this is like a while back, like a few hours after we started talking about it.
Yeah, like Horace talked about how he already heard. Oh wait, no, never mind. Never mind. Lunatic did inform. The fourth thing is more about suspicions that of Chuli not reposting or liking fan art that he made of you, and that's when. So Lunatic did inform him. My bad.
My God.
Ooh.
How old is Lunatic?
Early 20s, I believe.
Like how old? Like right now?
Yeah. Also possible Lunatic's not aware of everything that's going on. He very well may have the same opinion that other people have, that this person
Well,
was
if I remember correctly,
predator, and if there's no evidence of it, yada yada yada.
if I remember correctly, Lunatic was a kid when I was also a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her birthday is, I think, January 2003.
And to be clear, the discussion of how they found out is kind of superfluous at the moment, because I promise you, if we get this clown on a call, he'll tell us. So let's get this clown on a call.
Okay, yeah. I'm not mad at Lunatic. Lunatic is younger than me, being fed the shit because the children in this community are primed to be abuse apologists for their own abuse. Okay,
If I may, I would like to say that he tried to talk to me about it, As far as
People did he DM?
I can send you guys the screenshots. I didn't fucking reply. But
he tried to right now. He tried to DM you.
I can read it. Hey Lucy, just wanted to let you know that I'm already aware of what's going on in courthouse. And then he said, "Has the talk been going well? Because I've been anxious about it."
When did he say
Oh,
this
it's
to
going
you?
somewhere.
That being said, I will gladly post this in here. Give me a moment.
If I may ask a quick question.
No.
Yeah. So, Susie, you didn't know about the dogging on staff, did you?
I might have. I probably did. I'm not even. It was probably no. It was definitely a talking point in the Cloud Palace at one point.
Oh, was it now?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, yeah, we absolutely, Lio. I'm gonna need those exploits. Anything that talks about Horace. And in fact, anywhere where Horace was talking about the shit that he did, because apparently that was a fucking thing that you guys let happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say I do remember Horace would talk about the.
You see, I'm kind of surprised that Doodletones defended it, but I'm surprised that no one's bringing it up yet. That George literally admitted it to Doodletones, and Doodletones said they just weren't satisfied with it. I'm kind of surprised about that, but we'll see.
Allegations quite a lot. I remember him doing it to me when I was 17, Liv when she was also 17. It was pretty commonplace for him to tell the kids in the community that the allegations against them were false. I do remember that. I didn't think of anything at the time until, the knowledge now.
I think there was okay. My memory's really, really bad, okay, but I do vaguely remember it coming up at one point in a conversation in Lizard Wizard when I was 16. And I had only gone off of the memories of the video from when I was I think I was 13 or 14 when I watched it.
Yeah, I know it definitely was mentioned in Lizard Wizard. Absolutely.
No, it was an extremely common thing that Horace would do. I don't know if anybody can corroborate this, but it would be a thing where Horace would start venting, and in the middle of his vent say, maybe Vivian was right about me.
Yep, that's exactly it. I remember that. Yep. I would talk him down. I would talk him down. I remember that.
Wait.
Oh my god.
No. Because I think at one point. Okay. I don't know if anyone here was here for it. I remember there was this one time I wasn't called, and he started doing that, and I was just so confused because I was like, what did Vivian even say?
Here's the thing. It's actually
no, that's not true. Because I did not know.
It's actually a bit worse than this. From what I'm seeing in the Cloud Palace, this little weirdo had their own crying to myself room in here. 90% of what they were doing was crying about something.
I just want to say, Autumn, and Seth, I just want to say, I know what this feels like, and I'm so sorry I'll have to deal with it and just be silent about it because nobody wanted to fucking do anything about it but fucking defend him over it. I'm so sorry.
I just want to ask, y'all were talking about my comment in the Cloud Palace? Did y'all hate me so much for being around Rachel that you dogged me as a victim?
I'm still looking through. I haven't seen that yet.
Even without that, this just was okay with people. And knowing now what y'all know what Rachel did to me.
Because I was gonna ask, did any of y'all suspect in the Cloud Palace that me and Amity were abused? Sorry, Seth. Amity,
no, you're okay. You're okay.
You guys are throwing a lot at me. I can't keep up with a bunch of questions.
I'm sorry. That wasn't towards you, Lio. That was towards the people in the Cloud Palace, because I'm trying to make people go off of memory right now. I know you have the logs. I'll let you take your time with that. I just want people in the Cloud Palace right now, who was in the Cloud Palace, did any of you suspect that we were possibly being abused? Did that ever cross your mind?
You mean by Rachel?
Towards Rachel, towards Vivian, either of those?
Yeah. Did anyone suspect that we were at all victims of... You can't even suspect I was a victim of Vivian. I was openly one.
Avi knew.
Of course Avi knew.
Of course he did.
Avi regularly talked to me that he told me a lot that you two were in a cult with Rachel.
Oh, I was...
Yep, there's a cult comment. Yep.
It really... Oh my god.
I can't fucking believe this. This is so...
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab something. To basically just, let the dead air just be filled with something. I gotta grab a drink. I'll be back as soon as possible. Alright. I'll be back. To fill the dead air in the void, right? I'm just gonna let you guys look at some great stuff, okay? Some evil stuff, if you will. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy aging up a character isn't pedophilic. Okay. I'll be right back. Have fun.
Consider this a part 2 to the fucking age up characters versus lolicon thing. But here I'll discuss the fucking intentions of aging up a character for sexual reasons and the stupid point of view where everyone's a pedophile. So let's get into the point of view where everyone's a pedophile. Here's the definition of pedophilia. Sexual perversion in which children are the preferred sexual object. Which kind of debunks, calling somebody aging up a character for sexual reasons pedophilia in its own fucking definition. But sure, let's play ball. Let's stretch it so it includes, aging up a character. We would still have to, figure out if the attention is, oh, I think this minor character is hot. We have to assume that's always the intention. Which, unfortunately, there's a lot of steps into making a character look different. May it be for an alternate universe or, the agent up thing. There's no real way to be like, oh yeah, the full intention is because this person thinks this child character is hot. Let's use Young Link as an example. You had a crush on this character when you were a kid. But it's kind of that weird thing where it's like, yeah, the character doesn't age, but I do. Because characters, no matter what media it's in, sometimes just don't age for no real reason. I mean, look at Ash Ketchum. Motherfucker has been 10 for 20 years, maybe more. You still might have a crush on that character's personality and traits they had. But here's the thing, they're still canonically a minor. Here's where aging up a character kind of plays a part. If you still have that kind of crush feeling on that character, you start kind of thinking, what if this character was older? That kind of starts. And then you start thinking, what if I just made him fucking attractive to me? You age him up, make him sexy, attractive, whatever word you want to fucking use. Then you post a sexual image. I don't think that mindset is pedophilic. Well, let's go back to the first mindset where, oh yeah, this person's attracted to this minor character. Therefore, them drawing this adult version of a character sexy is pedophilic. Somehow. And oh boy, there's a lot of questions I have to ask about this first mindset. Goddamn. First question. Why the fuck would they age up a character? And I don't mean just slapping an age lazily on it like a fucking lolly. I mean actual character, different design, etc., that type of shit. Why go through all of that if you're a pedophile? Since, like the dictionary says, you're attracted to children. That includes the body of a child. Why would you bother, making the body different from a child's if you're attracted to children? That shit just doesn't make sense at all. Same pedophiles are attracted to lollies makes sense because they have a body of a child. You see where I'm going with this. It just doesn't make sense when you're practically making an adult character at that point. But you know what? Let's say the intentions were actually awful. They just wanted to sexualize a child character and turn them into adult and sexualizing that, which would be a weird thing for a pedophile to do since they're attracted to children, but what the fuck ever, I guess. Let's say this image of adult Ash Ketchum and Sabrina were fucking or some shit. And say it was made in bad intentions, aka sexualizing a child. The artist is just straight up a pedophile for these characters or something. How would we know the intentions of the creator of the art piece?
Oh, yikes. Dude. This is good stuff, guys. This is genuinely good stuff. 100 Men versus Gorilla. Yeah? So, I would, stop this video, but you guys seem to really be enjoying it. Right? I don't know. You guys seem to really be liking it. Should I keep it going? Should I keep it going? You know what? I'll go back to this, but I'll see if I should keep it going. You guys would love it. Yikes. It's over. It's so over. Ace, you killed me. Yikes. Well, I'll watch a little bit more of this.
Crazy. Oh my god. How many times does it have to happen where a victim that you don't perceive that you perceive as having also done wrong before is just pushed aside?
Also, Hidden did say this, and I feel like it needs to be an announcement for everyone to be alerted to, that effective immediately, any minor in contact with Horus needs to block him.
I concur.
That needs to be alerted to anyone who knows a minor who could be in contact with Horus. I don't know if Patches is in contact with Horus.
I'll DM him.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, possibly also in other servers that Horus shared, there should be an announcement of effective immediately, communication is to be seized. Because, no.
Hey, Seth, I need to ask you because, preferably I'd want to ask Ty this, but do you know if Horus actually got into any death battle spaces?
Oh, no.
I know Horus is, like, active in, like, making death battle content, but as far as I know, no, he is not. And if he is, I will ask Ty in the morning. Ty is asleep right now.
Okay, I sent Patches a DM. I will let y'all know when I get a response.
Oh, well, there you go. Horus has left all Discord servers and removed all their Discord friends, according to... Okay.
Yeah, like I looked at his profile in like a post of his. It was on no mutual servers, no mutual friends. So yeah, all that's missing is the black screen of nothingness.
I might need to refresh this, but I was actually about to unfriend him on my end. I still see mutual friends on my end.
I just...
Yikes.
Are you kidding me?
This whole...
Enjoy the clip I sent you.
You guys gaslit Donnie to their face.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
And this is a Cloud Palace log.
Yes, it is.
Oh my fucking god.
The deleted user is Donnie, if I remember correctly. That's Donnie.
I hate you. I hate you.
Hate you?
I don't even want you in this fucking call right now. But I don't know if we need you. She dipped.
No, I said Susie.
I haven't
Dip.
dipped.
Dip.
I haven't
Oh,
dipped.
leave.
Oh, you want me to dip? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
leave.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So, this log confirms that y'all didn't think of shit when it came to Lio. All you cared about was absolving George of all of these accusations.
Kirby, like Marwan directly is trying to point out the issue with what Susie is saying, and she just won't let up.
If I didn't know any better, I would genuinely tell every one of you involved to give Lio a fucking apology, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to Lio. Oh my god! Y'all owe Donnie a fucking apology!
No, actually, like, what the fuck, guys?
What is this shit? I'm sorry, I know I'm angry, but...
No, you're right.
This is how you act about someone caring
You're
about
a victim.
this?
You don't have to apologize for being angry.
Yeah, like, what in the actual fuck?
God.
I'm actually
Y'all said all of this to Donnie, and then later on, let Autumn and I into the Cloud Palace. Two of George's victims. You said all of this, and still let Autumn and I into the Cloud Palace.
I'm actually sick. I'm actually fucking sick.
So you liked us enough to put us in the group, but you couldn't be bothered to... Okay, alright guys, alright.
Does everyone just, like, have to be the perfect fucking victim to just, like, be taken seriously in any way?
Hold on. The video came out in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
But the conversation happened 2 years previous?
Yes.
Yes.
So they had 2 years to look into this.
Yes.
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 Oh,
Yes, and
God.
George was still gone. George was still gone when
George
Susie
was
made that
gone
video.
for 2 years. If I remember correctly, Susie said it herself. George was gone for 2 years between when Vivian...
Alright, so essentially, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do something evil, okay? We're going to go back to Snarkfield. No, I'm kidding. Hold on. Let me do something. Because I think I'm just going to make this a 3-parter at this point. Let me look. Timestamp. I guess I'm thinking of like putting a stop to this here. I want to go through all this before I touch more Saber stuff. So I'll probably try to stream tomorrow as well. But like I've gotten through a good part of this, I'll say. But yeah. What I'm gonna do, essentially, right? Guys. We ending stream? Yeah. It's crazy to think that 3 hours feels short for me. But guys, this is good news, right? We're gonna watch more Snarkfield. I'm kidding. I play. I kid. Okay. But yeah, no, essentially, right? we have come back with Abstract, guys. And I want to like put this like, I want to promote this again because this is good news. Okay, we have come back and we have replaced Amos with Yen, a new person, the diversity hire, right? And I'm probably gonna just send you over to Abstract because the new episode's around like 2 hours long, and it's like pretty based. Yeah, so it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, guys. Actually, can I just redirect it to like straight to this? Because that would just be based as a whole. But I don't know if I can. I'll see if I can. I'll see. They saw haunt you in your sleep. You guys are mad. You're mad. This is good news. Okay. This is great news. We can BBs. Alright. We will live for 30 years. Customization. I want to see if I can just redirect it to a video. I've never tried that before. Paste. Can I not? Yikes. So what I'm having to do right now is essentially yikes. Okay. Why is Tyler the Creator playing? Am I just that good? Anyways, yikes. This is insane! I'll just link it in the chat. I'll link it in the chat. Fucking hell. I can't redirect it. I'll link it in the chat. You guys will love this good news. And I'll make this the new pin. You guys check this out, right? It'll be fun. It'll give you something to do while like playing games or drawing or whatever, right? You guys have lots of fun. I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Stay safe, y'all.